got no clue what you were thinking. You never let it show. Now I'm just another fool, no exceptions to the rule. Another guy you used to know. You really should have told me what you were thinking. You could have let me know before you called it quits on this relationship. It was so easy for you to go. So tell me, when did you change your mind? And tell me when it went from love to angry all the time. Was it while you were holding me, loving me, kissing me, wanting more? Tell me, when did you change your mind? I never thought you were anything but happy. You took my breath with every kiss. All the while you were faking love, just another hit and run with lies on your lips. So tell me, when did you change your mind? And tell me when it went from love to angry all the time. Was it while you were holding me, loving me, kissing me, wanting more? So tell me, when did you change your mind? So go ahead, leave your apologies. All that wasted time is killing me. Your confessions are getting old, but there's only one thing I've got to know. So tell me, when did you change your mind? And tell me when it went from love to
Wacky Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Unfiltered, the real deal. No pre-planning, no chingaderas. Straight up from the bill.
Wacky Wednesday.
B-Town's very own.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Here's your host, Bumper Gomez.
I guess we got to be unmuted. Let's try this again, dude.
We were miming the whole time. That was your opportunity, audience.
Hey, so we were just practicing. I hope you can hear us now. Thank you, Jasmine.
Our mouths were moving. You had to make up your own words.
Anyway, welcome to Wacky Wednesday. We're live and we're starting off the show wacky as shit. I'm telling you that right now. But nonetheless, if you're joining us on behalf of Jason and Jase Martin, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Look, all the text messages coming in. Bumper, there's no vocals. We got vocals now. You can hear it. Ain't bad though. We're good.
Can't hear Bumper.
But no, dude, welcome to another episode of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. If you're tuning in on behalf of Jase, I appreciate it. My name is Bumper Gomez, award-winning podcaster in dealing with Tejano music. But as you guys know, I'm a big believer in not only Tejano music, but our cultura and everything to do with our culture, to include Texas, right? To include Texas. And here in Texas, you know, we love our Tejano, but if we love Tejano, the majority of people who love Tejano music love country music. And here in Texas, those of you tuning in from out of state, here in Texas, we have our own country music. Right, Texas. We always got to do it. Go big or go home. Right. That's what they say. But everybody tuning in, thank you guys. Everybody tuning in from YouTube. I have my YouTube on. My chat room is open. I got a bad message saying Bumper doesn't watch the YouTube channel. He doesn't pay attention to us. So I'm making it a point tonight to pay attention to the YouTube chat. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, somebody send me a chat to let me know that it's working on YouTube. It's been a wild last weekend. It's been really crazy. I got to go out and do a lot of things. One of them was we'll talk about it here in a few minutes. Anyway. Welcome to Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. As promised, my guest in the Wacky Wednesday studio this beautiful Wednesday evening is Mr. Jase Martinez from his group, the self group, right?
Right.
Jase Martin. We're going to talk about the name.
Mira, el jingle.
El jingle wingo. I was already ready. I was like, hey, he's about to go start singing.
I've been holding this for like 15 minutes waiting to do that one riff. Just kind of nervous all waiting. And then we were on mute.
Oh, we were all muted, dude.
Live.
Bien rookie move, the madre. But dude, again, I got two phones I'm working with here, right? Hello from Tulane, is that Tulane? Tulare, California. Ray Gomez watching on YouTube. Primo Gabriel Aguilon watching on YouTube. Man, you got a lot of people already on Facebook, brother. Nice. Everybody can't hear you, Bumper. Can't hear you. We fixed it. We're good. We're good.
It was something positive.
Something positive?
It's can't hear you.
There you go. Bumper from San Marcos. Jason, is great to see and hear you jam out on a Friday. Or jam out on Friday. Okay, that's what they said.
Oh, I big salute going out to Jonathan, of course. You know, it was nice to see you guys out there. So always a pleasure to see, you know, all those people that have been supportive over the last, gosh, man, I've been at it for almost 30 years.
30 years,
30
dude?
years on the road. I was 13 years old, 14 years old playing.
I was about to say, you don't even look like you're over 35,
well, I
dog.
appreciate that, but I'm not even going to talk about it.
Damn.
But I've been on the road for like almost 30 years. I was like 13 playing accordion like in the cantinas, and my parents would go with me and wait and then take me home afterwards.
Jason, so you play the accordion too?
I play accordion and guitar and bass and drums, and piano is my primary instrument though.
Bajo sexto?
Bajo sexto too. I love bajo sexto.
This is a one-man band right here, dog.
Cymbals right here. Mira, the pinche drum in the back. Whatever, yo.
Hey, have you ever seen the video of the dudes like in Mexico? Like they have like the back, they have the strap, and the guy steps and he's got like the cymbals, the guitar, like he can do all. Can you imagine how hard that would be to play that, dude?
You know what? I'm not gonna tell you that I've never tried. But I'm not gonna mention that I've never tried. It might pop up on YouTube one day. Just watch.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch it, man. So, guys, forgive me. I'm not texting nobody. I'm looking at YouTube and I'm looking at Facebook, right? Trying to stay with the chats. Because Switcher Studio sucks. I'll say that if they're watching. Switcher Studio sucks. Pay money for nothing. But, dude, Jason, you over 30 years, man. You've been in the music business. I was really looking forward to this interview because you have touched, you started, I would say you started in Tejano, right?
Right.
And you've worked your way out of that, and now you're doing Texas country.
Right.
And how's that, dude? How's that going for you right now, Texas country?
It's been one hell of a ride, and it seems as the more time passes that it's getting, thank God, right? It's getting better and better. But it's all in how you continue with like your shows and the stuff that you do to try to keep yourself at a certain place. Like I'm already up there in age, and I tell you right now that we always try, like I was saying earlier, we always try to do a show as if like 20,000 people were watching. And stuff like that keeps getting you booked, and it keeps getting us in different. We haven't had a chance to record, a full album yet because we've been playing a lot. Now, I'm not saying we've been playing a lot, but thank God we've been playing a lot. That's just how we do it.
You're gigging.
I'm gigging, and it's still going.
Gigging is important, bro, because I tell people all the time, right, when you gig, I always get shit for saying this, but to me, that's the last taste you leave in their mouth, right? Like,
yeah.
You can hear you on the radio. But if I see you gig, then you gave me that's what I left with, right?
Right. The song was great on the radio. You come to one of our shows and we suck, then you're gonna get that Osco in your
He said Osco, bro.
I'm from the south side, bro.
Shit.
I'm full of words.
Hey,
like
dude,
that.
but Jase was cool because as soon as he came over, he was already cool in my book because he showed up with high top Vans. I told him it was a van home right here. So he's already cool in my book. Speaking of being cool in my book, the first time ever, I want to give a big thank you to my buddy Lorenzo and my homie La Chismosa. They came over last night. We got some big things coming up. We did a quick live, but y'all guys are going to be mad at me. I've been doing this for over 2 years, Jason, right? I just do it out of the love of doing music. Never did I know that I could earn money from doing Facebook Lives. Hey guys, I'm not looking to get rich, right? Just let me throw that out there. But if you guys look at the bottom, you'll see that there's stars. You can send me stars now. I think you got to purchase the stars or whatever. But if you guys want to send me stars, I would greatly appreciate it. It'll cover my Red Bull for the morning drive to work, or my Red Bull for the morning drive. I mean, for the afternoon drive. Not the
For the morning drive twice.
But yeah, something new, man. Something new on Facebook. So Jason, he's a guinea pig today. We got a new screen in the background that we're looking at, because I was tired of looking at the artists. I can look at you right here, so the people can stare at us. And I'm excited, dude. I'm excited because, again, you've touched both Texas country, Tejano, and over 30 years in the music business. Not only that, worked in the radio business. So you guys are in for a very, very, if you love music, you're in for a treat tonight, man. This guy's he just told you he plays drums, guitar, bajo, accordion. He sings, right? His love is piano, but there's more. Lovato's a ghost hunter, dude.
Oh,
He's
wow.
a ghost.
You brought that up.
He's a ghost hunter. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. But man, already, hell yeah, I got some stars. Hey, thank you, Gumaro. I appreciate that, bro. Got me some stars already. So, Jase, where did you grow up at, bro?
So I grew up on the south side of San Antonio. So on the south side,
Why can't everybody just say I grew up in San Antonio? People are fucking proud. South side. I grew up on the south side of San Antonio.
south side. You know what? I don't know, man. It's just the way we are. From over, at least from the south side. We're proud people, and south side. I went to the same high school that like Emilio went to and Ram went to and stuff. So it was a really cool thing for me. But not when I was younger. When I was younger, Tejano music and conjunto music and all that. When I was small, my parents would listen to that, and to me it was like old man music,
Cantina music,
and I didn't like it until I saw. I really got a good look at like I remember it was David Farias that I was watching. He's with Los Hermanos Farias, and I was just amazed at that accordion playing, man. And I said, I gotta play that sucker, and I was already playing piano and drums when I was a kid, so. The whole accordion thing just kind of blew my mind, and they bought me one. Actually, no, they didn't buy me one. My Uncle Richard gave me my first accordion, and he gave me a GCF accordion. I started playing around with it, and I had a friend of mine. His name is Raul, and he was a schoolmate of mine, but he was an accordion player, and he was my age, and I was just amazed at, like, you know, how everything was moving and how everything was being played. And he would give me lessons over the phone, bro. Over the phone.
Over the phone?
Over the phone. He was like, I'm going to teach you Sácate los piojos
Mira,
chencha.
go down 4 buttons.
That's what he would do. No joke. I pick it up. I'd be like, okay, bro, have the phone. See, because we didn't have no headphones, right? No hands-free. The pinche big phone like this. All right, bro, where are we going? 4 buttons down. Go in. You know what I mean? All right, no, bro, it's supposed to sound like this, and then he played over the phone. It sounded all badass. I was like, oh, like this?
Oh, dude, that's hilarious, bro.
Oh, man, and that's how I started learning to play accordion. But it was because I was watching these guys that were just playing it was amazing to me, you know, to see something completely different on stage other than your drums, your bass, your guitar. Because, I mean, those are instruments that have been, you know, that you see on stage all the time.
Right.
Bro, I got to warn you, I talk a lot.
He warned me already, but that's good. I like people who talk a lot because it makes the interview, it makes my job a lot easier, to be honest with you.
Quieter, bro.
Yeah. If you guys are wondering, yes, bumpers, if you don't bump, man, if you know me, man, when I'm out, 90% of the time, I'm either wearing a Vans t-shirt or I'm wearing a guabayera of some sort of color. I want to give a big shout out, a big heart, a big love to my old lady, my wife. I saw this on Facebook. It's a Whataburger guabayera, and I sent it to her. I said, it'd be really nice to have this. And like 2 days later, she throws me a pack and she's like, here. And I'm like, cool. So all day today, I was telling Jason, all day at work, everybody's like, bro, I like that shirt. I'm like, cool, man. I thought you were going to order a Whataburger or something. They're like, why Whataburger? And I'm like, because it's a Whataburger shirt. And they look and they're like, oh shit, it is a Whataburger shirt.
I didn't notice until you told me. That's
right,
a badass
you see
shirt.
the flying W's on there,
That's
man.
a badass shirt. I like that. I didn't even know they made that. That's cool. And it's a guayabera.
Did I say it wrong?
No.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying, like, that's a Whataburger guayabera.
Yes, they did it in the front,
badass.
the back. They kind of just made a plain shirt in the back. They didn't do the stripes in the back, but it's cool, man. We'll make it work.
Cool.
We'll make it work. Again, man, everybody tuning in from YouTube, tuning in from Facebook. Thank you guys. Jase Martin here, and we're gonna have a good time, dude. We're gonna get into ghost stories. He brought his guitar. You just don't know what's gonna happen. It's Wacky Wednesday. So back to you, Jase. You grew up here in San Antonio on the south side.
I did.
McCullum High School.
McCullum High School. I didn't even have to say it. As soon as I said Emilio and Ram, you already knew McCullum High School.
Yeah, I already
and that's
know
why
that.
we say south side.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. So I went to McCullum High School, you know, and it was just from then on, you know, it was like I had plans and aspirations to be like an engineer and a teacher, you know, and then I joined the music, and that was a stool. Forget it. And to this day, that's what I do. That's all I do. That's what we do for a living. We still tour after so many years, and we're still doing it, man. And I got to say, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you very, very much.
No,
I appreciate
dude,
that.
when you reached out and I looked you up, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like, let's do it.
I reached out when you had my buddies Chase the Night on, which, by the way, I got to say hi to LJ because I know he sent a big hello out there. LJ, Anthony, all the guys in Chase the Night, they were here, and I was watching you guys do the interview, and I was like, this is so cool. And if they can get on, let me call. So I know that I messaged you that. I think the next day,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I would love to do your show, man. This is great.
Eddie Gonzalez is watching.
Is he really?
Eddie.
And I check like it's gonna.
Everybody watching, dude, you're in for a treat, man, because this guy's been around, not in a bad way. But no, dude, yeah, when I had LJ and the guys here Chase tonight, I thought it was really cool, dude. What's really cool, Jason, is that you're where you guys originate from to where you're going now.
Right.
It's you could say it's night and day, but it's really not night and day, right? Because, you know, to me, Tejano is country music in its own form, right?
Thank you. Exactly.
It's like country music in Spanish.
And you know, I had a good friend of mine. He was a DJ at an old radio station called KDA. I used to work at KDA. And Güero Polkas was this huge DJ back in the day, and he's an amazing guy. And I remember he's the one that used to tell me, you know, Tejano music is nothing but country in Spanish, and vice versa. So, you know, the grooves are very similar. The dancing is very similar. So it was really cool to see how those two genres just connected. Even when we played live, you know, it's like it's no problem for like a couple that's dancing Tejano music to get back onto the dance floor and dance country music, because to me, at least to us, they're so related.
I could tell you, people can relate to this when you say that, right? Think about when we dance Tejano music. You go anywhere else in the United States, they play anything with an accordion, a bajo, Spanish music, right? You could just say Spanish music. Go, like when I went to California, me and my wife went to a concert. We went to go see Intocable, right? So as soon as Intocable starts, we start dancing Texas style. What's Texas style? Bump, what do you mean? If you've never left the state of Texas, then you don't know what I'm talking about. We dance in a circle. And we move in a circle. Cumbia, ranchera, whatever, we move in a circle. In California, they pick a square and stay there. They don't move. So to me, I think that style of dancing derived from the ball, like it derived from country dancing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're so intertwined. It's just another way to look at it, how close we are to country music. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I got to send a shout out to everybody out in Michigan too. I know we got some people that were making comments, and so we appreciate you guys tuning in as well. Thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate everybody that's getting on here and sending us a comment, sending us the love, and letting us know, man, that they're out there.
For sure. And all we ask for you is not only to send stars, no, but not the crazy. All we ask you to do is share it, man, because you know what? I've had so many new fans of the show just by people sharing. Maybe you have somebody you invited to watch the show, didn't know who the hell is this bumper guy, and you know they dig the way we're doing the show, and they share it, and somebody else sees it like, what is going on here? And next thing you know, you go dig and you find all these artists that you know that have been here in the hot seat where you're at. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's what it's about. It's about interaction and helping each other out. This is really cool for us because we get a chance to be promoted here on your show. You know what I mean? And it gives me the opportunity to invite people that may have not seen the show just yet. But from here on out, they will. You got a great thing going, man. So, dude,
you guys were just at the Barbacoa and Big Red Fest. Yeah. And I think the Barbacoa and Big Red Fest did a very good job this year of mixing. They do it every year, but this year I think they did a really good job of mixing country and Tejano, because I think in years before it's been heavily one way or the other.
Right.
This year they did a very good mix. Did you have any barbacoa while you were out there?
You know what? I didn't have the chance. We actually played. So that day we had to go and play the Peanut Festival in Floresville during the day.
Oh shit!
So we went. We got all dehydrated over there, all sweaty, whatever. Changed, and we had to right away go to the Big Red Festival. And we got there. We set up. We played. As soon as we were done, we went home and kind of took a breather because we were going to play the next day. I don't even remember where we were at. So it's always moving that it's hard sometimes to enjoy like the environment that we're in. Like I wanted to, look at me. I mean, you can tell I'm sitting.
Bro, I'm going to tell you, Jason, I love barbacoa. Mm-hmm. I got some good friends that watch the show. They watch it from the Barbacoa Bandits, big supporters of the show. They specialize in smoked, listen to me, smoked barbacoa. But I haven't had the chance to actually taste their smoked barbacoa. At the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival this weekend, me and my wife, we got there kind of hungry. We went out Sunday to go show some love to the Conjunto cats. And when we get there, we're walking by. I'm like, you know what? I told my wife, I said, man, we came Saturday. I didn't even see no barbacoa. Nobody's selling barbacoa, really. I saw other tacos, but not barbacoa. I said, it's a barbacoa festival. And so we walked by this booth, and these guys were from Laredo, called Lily's, I believe. The guy's like, hey, bro, you ever had smoked barbacoa? I said, no. He goes, you want a taco? I said, well, how much are they? $5. I'll buy a taco. Before you buy it, you want to taste it? I'm like, hasta eso. So the dude takes a big old scoop of barbacoa and he puts it on. He gives you a fork and you try it before you buy it. Dude, I ate it and I looked at my wife and I was like, oh my goodness, bro. He made a taco, pero pinche tacote, dude. Like
un tacón.
Full, yeah, bro. That shit it was full, dude. And it was good, bro. It was a good thing. So you leave McCullum High School, dude. this is Wacky, bro. We're all over the place, right?
Right.
We start here, go there. You leave McCollum High School. What was the first band you played with?
So I played even before McCollum High School. My very first band ever was a band called the VIPs out of the south side of San Antonio, and they were a bunch of older gentlemen. They had this local band, and the keyboard player actually played with the San Antonio Fire Department band that they had. And it was cool because that was the very first band that I had. That I was in. And we would play these weddings and debuts, and they were señores.
And what were you playing?
I was playing accordion. And then they decided to give me a microphone because I think they figured, let's try to get this young guy to be the singer, the front man. And I was terrible, right? Because I never really sang, it was more the instrumentation. And I remember I tried so hard, and then they just put me back on accordion. That was it. And that was the beginning.
They let you sing one song?
At first they tried.
They faded it.
Yeah.
Hey, get them off. Get them back here.
They even
Salió el chaca, ¿cómo se llama? El chacano. Help me out here, guys. The guy on the what do you call it show? He used to come out. He used to wear all black. And
the hood.
With a hook, and he pull your ass
on the Sábado Gigante.
Yeah,
that's what they did to me when I was with the VIPs, man. I was playing accordion, jamming, and I tried. It just didn't work for me back then. That's not what I did, and that was my first band, man. I jumped from different bands to different bands from there. I was with I was with Shelly for a long time. I was her accordion player for a while. Off and on, I'd get fired. And
Shelly Lattes?
I was with Shelly Lattes. I'd play for a while, and then I'd get fired. And then I'd come back and play, and then get fired. And then
she would fire you, or her dad would fire you?
Her dad would fire me. Her dad would fire me.
Shout out to Shelly Lattes, man. She's out there working hard.
I remember those days, man. But you know what? That was like that. Being in that band was my first experience being in like a big band,
Yeah.
Because she was hitting it hard. We were doing festivals and concerts, and it was amazing, And I got my first taste of like what it was like to be in a bigger band, Mm-hmm. So she was the first one that gave me that. And the one actually that hooked me up with that gig was a good friend of mine named Danny Casanova. And Danny was a DJ also at KDA. And I was a DJ there, and he was like, hey man, I got a band, they need an accordion player. And I figured it was gonna be, local band, because at that time, in the early 90s, a bunch of local bands were popping up. Right?
So you keep saying KDA.
Right.
Let me, are you a big fan of conjunto music?
I love conjunto music.
So not only, if it's KDA the way I think KDA, right? Radio Jalapeno. Okay. You not only have to love conjunto music, you got to be almost like you have to almost be a historian of conjunto music and know, because dude, you think there's a lot of Tejano bands? Shit, there is a shitload of conjunto bands, and bro, there's names you never heard of, but you tell a conjunto fan this name, they're like, oh, they're the band, they're one of the. You're like, man, I never heard of them.
JJ Los Centellas.
Oh, see, there he goes.
Los Pinkies. You had all these Chano Cadena, Ruby Franco, all these groups, man, that we were playing, and they were like on cassettes and carts, and the music was just amazing. Ruben Vela, Ruben Naranjo, you had all those cats too, but conjunto music was just, so remember I was telling you that I didn't like it when I was young, right? Because I thought it was old man music, my parents' music. And then as I started getting into the whole accordion thing, I started loving conjunto music. And I liked it a little bit more than I liked Tejano music, because I like that drive. Conjunto music, my grandma used to say que el acordeón se oye bien alegre. So that accordion to me was like real drivey and happy sounding, and it was bien alegre. So I would just listen to it, man. And I remember back then there was a station, KCOR, right? They played a little more of that Mexican regional stuff. So listening to that at my great-grandma's house, and then listening to conjunto music with my dad, and it was just like, and that just created this monster. And I'm sorry, Dad, that I didn't become an engineer or an astronaut, but here I am.
Dude, I'm freaking, literally, I'm not lying, bro. What you just said, it makes the hairs on my arm stand up, because, for the people watching, this is the first time we've actually sat down and literally had a long conversation. Like, I'm being serious with you, with everybody watching. For you to say your great grandma listening to regional Mexican music, your grandma listening to conjunto music, and I'm sure your parents was probably towards more to the Tejano side,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That is exactly like me. Literally, like that. That is my way of the way I saw music. You know, my great grandma, my grandparents, my mom. And I always say conjunto music, man, to me is the gangster rap of Tejano. Right? I know you said happy, right? It has a happy sound. It sure does. But just to me, sometimes some of the songs were like straight gangster, bro, but they were just in a conjunto format.
Oh, man. I remember, so, what was it? Was it Rubén Naranjo? Me van a quitar la vida porque soy un criminal. Oh, the song started like that. And I'm like, for real?
Oh,
the song started like that. They're going to kill me because I'm a criminal. You know, and it's funny you're talking about how like gangster, you know, but conjunto music, it was, I mean, the stories they wrote, the corridos that would come out, it's just amazing. Tejano music was cool. You know, you had all these cool keyboards and all this, you know, these cool riffs and stuff like that. But conjunto music was a little bit more real for me. A little bit more real, you know. And, you know, I remember when I first became friends with Sonny, you know, and he was like this big, he introduced me to Bernal.
Conjunto Bernal.
Oh, my gosh. Amazing, you know. And I still have, you know, friends to this. My drummer, I'm going to say my drummer, our drummer, right? His name is Steven Aguirre. He played in one of my first bands when we were kids. I must have been about 16 and he was about 13. And he was playing drums with us back then. I was in a band called Los Jóvenes. And he actually, it's crazy. It cycles around. 25 years later, 30 years later, he's playing with me now in this band. And he's a big conjunto, you know, big conjunto guy. Big time.
Speaking of drummers, Manuel Uresti, Mike Gonzalez from the Iconics, puro drummers. They're all watching. You said drummers, so they're all watching. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said drummers, and I saw both of them on.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Sometimes I forget to, you know. So if somebody comes on here and they say hello, I apologize if we don't say hello back. We get so into the conversations, you know, that sometimes it's hard to notice. But believe me, everybody that's commenting,
it's good to hear from somebody else besides me.
Right?
I say that every week.
It's true.
People hit me up like, Bump, I'm not gonna watch your shit anymore. I just wanted a shout out, bro. And you didn't even see me. I commented like 5 times.
It's hard.
It's hard.
But believe me, we're grateful that you guys are on there. You know, Manuel sometimes plays with us. You know, he'll come and he'll help us out, and he jams.
He's a beast too, bro.
He's great. I love that guy. He's amazing. And you know what? The thing about Manuel too is buena gente.
Oh, dude, that dude has a vibe like no other, bro. Him. Have you ever met Ricky Ray?
Ricky
Ray plays sax for La 45.
No,
long hair. He's a cool vibe. But Manuel is a great vibe, dude. Always helps me out. If I need a room somewhere, I'll call Manuel.
Yeah.
Because dude, I got the friends and family, but sometimes it doesn't do it. I said I have to call him. Manuel's like, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Yeah.
How much do you want to pay?
And
he makes it happen.
Yep. Yes, he does. He's the guy. It's like, okay, he's a very dependable musician. A big shout out, you know, and props going out to, you know, Manuel, of course, you know, so many different people that we worked with throughout all these years, you know, and I got to say hi to the guys, you know, Steve, our bass player, who's watching right now. And then Stevie, I got 2 Steves in the band. It's 2 Steves and a J. We're a 3-piece. That's it. We're a 3-piece. Drums, bass, guitar. And 3 vocals. That's it. And we try to make it sound full.
El vato está haciendo chingo de feria. He only got to pay 2 guys. And him, shit.
This is all we do for a living. I kid you not, you know, and
hey, so you gig during the week too,
I gig
Jase?
during the week too. So I do, you know, especially like corporate events. And it's crazy because you do one event and somebody sees you and then they want you for their event, you know, like the transition between when I was with Vida and Electric Cowboys to Jase Martin, because I actually started Jase Martin about 3 years ago.
Vida, Electric Cowboys separate.
So it's Grupo Vida. I was a Grupo Vida for 25 years. And then we started doing Electric Cowboys, which is the country stuff. We did a lot of big tours, a lot of really cool things. And COVID really kind of knocked everybody on their ass. So it was one of those things where it was tough. So a couple of years ago, we started doing this Jase Martin thing where it kind of allowed us to, you know, do something a little bit different, you know, because being in an organization like Vida, you have these things that you have to do. You know what? We have original songs that we have to play. We have a show we have to adhere to because that's what we recorded. You know what I mean? So it was different. And Jase Martin kind of gave us the opportunity to play whatever it is that we wanted, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong. We did it with Vida too. And I remember, you know, it was like, Jay, you know, you got to play our material. And I was like, yeah, you got it. And then we do the show and we start throwing in Journey and all this other stuff. And it was kind of hard, you know? And that's essentially what kind of led to the, you know what, I got to continue doing this because the Vida organization, you know, they're an amazing organization. They have their thing going. They're still going. They got some stuff coming up in 2023.
Hey, bro, you know what's really, I'm thinking about it. I've had a lot of the Vida guys on here.
Yeah, you have. You had Art the other day.
At Art, I have at Eddie.
And all those guys. Let me. I have to.
And now Jase.
Dude, I gotta clear some air. Speaking of,
Let's
all of that,
do it. Let's clear it right now. That's what it's about.
Everybody's always messaging and asking, oh, you know, what is it? You know, because Vida had all these people, and you had Eddie, and you had Art, and you had Sonny, and this. You know what, man? We're all cool with each other. Everybody left for their own reason. Everybody needed to grow, and Vida was a great place to be right here, and then to grow. You know. They were this amazing organization where we were able to learn how to be in the Tejano music business and even in the country music because we did that for a while there too. So, you know, all these guys that are coming out, you know, you got Tim and John that have the Vida still. They're going to do some stuff in 2023. You have Art that's doing his thing, and he's got an amazing thing going too, both Tejano and country.
Dude, Art's kicking that. Hey, you want a gig? That dude's gigging, brother.
Yes, he is.
If you don't want me Tejano, hey, let me know. I'll show up country.
Exactly. and Sonny's doing the same thing. He's got his band going. Man, they're gigging all the time. Manny, our old bass player, if anyone remembers Manny, he was the really tall guy. Played bass.
Yeah, so I was about to ask.
With the crazy eyes.
Yeah.
He's got his own band too. It's called Manny and the Cantina Band. Our old sax player, Eric, you know, he's got his own. He's El Chavalon, the Prince. He's got his own band going. So everybody just kind of branched
El Chavalon?
out. El Chavalon.
Is
Eric.
part of the old Vida?
He was with Vida for a while. He played
Chavalon
saxophone.
with a little hat like
the little hat. Yeah, the little hat.
For real?
Yeah, he was with us for a while.
You see, you learn some new shit every day. I didn't know that.
Nobody knows that. You know, nobody really knows that kind of stuff. You know, you had these guys that would come in and then they would come out, you know. And then you still have the ones that were with us that are playing in different bands. You know, you got Michael Molini and Joel Vasquez, Rick Vega, the bass player, accordion player, and keyboard player that were with Vida for a long time. And now they've gone on to move with guys like Marcos Orozco and do different things over there, you know. And it's been a wonderful cycle of musicians and music as we went along throughout these 20
But to clear
years.
the air, Jason, there's no animosity between any of you guys.
Absolutely not. None. And that's
It's great what you said, right? Everybody wanted to grow on their own. Like
That's
everybody, you know, needed to grow, and
That's right.
everybody moved on. Agreed to move on.
Exactly.
Agree to disagree.
And then you move on, you do your thing, and thank God that everybody has been successful in what they're doing.
So just
There's
like
room for everybody.
Just like I asked the other two. As he takes his drink of water. They said, don't forget Paul Vidal on vocals.
Paul Vidal, very good friend of ours, amazing singer. He plays with Manny. He sings with Manny, and he sings with the Cantina Band. Let's put it like that. And he's their vocalist. And those guys got a good band too. You got the old one of the original guitar players from Vida from back then, Frank Darin. He's back. He's playing with Manny, which is the original bass player for Vida. And then Paul.
And they're
Vidal,
based here out of San Antonio.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they're out of here, and they do a lot of like.
Continue on your personal device.
Oh my God, Siri's talking to me through my watch. She's watching me. All these guys got together and formed this really amazing group. You know, the Robert Sanchez Rhodes, keyboard player. He's got his own thing going with the Robbie Rhodes project. So everybody is doing something, and we're all supportive of each other. We don't get a chance to talk very often, see each other because everybody's so busy.
You know, that's what Art said almost to the T. I don't know if you guys talked and said this is what we're going to say for the rest of our lives. But no, he said very similar. So I'm going to ask you, like I asked Eddie,
Sure.
like I asked Art, if there was ever a chance for Grupo Vida to either do a reunion show, a reunion tour, anything with a reunion, would Jase Martinez be up to it?
I'm going to answer that question. I would be happy to do something with all these cats. I'm going to tell you that I would be. And I'll tell you why. Because there's no way to ignore the fact that all these different guys helped shape each and every one of us. This guy wouldn't be here without this. This guy wouldn't be here without this. And same goes for me. I'm not a dick. I'm not an asshole. The fact of the matter is I know and recognize that, you know what? It took everybody to get to this point. If this person wouldn't have left, these changes wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. And in the end, I became the singer for Vida for years. I was a band leader and band director for a long time. I became the singer. And then after that, I got my own group. This would have never have happened had these other changes happened. I'm grateful that they happened. So for me, there's no animosity between anybody because quite frankly, this was a path that was taken by everybody and we wouldn't be here had those things never happened. So if you ask me, would I ever do like a reunion show with the guys? I would. It would be fun. It would be great. I'd love to do that. Tour would be different. It would be difficult to do a tour because our band plays.
Everybody has their own thing going on.
So that would be tough. But I mean, like we talked about it for a while about doing some stuff. Maybe we'll do like a cool show like in Midland, a cool show in Lubbock, one in Houston.
I'd pay some good dollars to see. And you can't even say original Vida, right? All the guys that were ever part of Vida together on one stage, together. Right. Like, hey, if you were the lead man one time and you will just go back and forth singing or whatever, I'd pay some good money to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm sure Tejano fans that are watching would be there right there with me. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And so it's important for everybody to know that at least for me on my part, I mean, I would love to do something cool like that. Touring would be hard and difficult because we have our own tour schedules. And I am extremely dedicated. My number one project is the Jase Martin project because that's what we do. That's how this band over here, this is how we're making a living. So this is what I have to take care of. But if you were to say, you know what, is everybody off on, October 41st, yeah, of course.
El día que dijo el October.
Yes, we're off. I never play that day. Great. We want to throw a cool show, and we're going to bring in all these guys. I'd be like, let's do something badass. You know what I mean?
Henry Zimmerly's watching from Street Talk magazine.
He's cool.
Henry Zimmerly, maybe you could put an article together that you heard it right here on Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, and maybe you could start pushing. Get it around and get it into all these guys' ears, and maybe a promoter or somebody can put something together. I think it would be a kick-ass show, man.
It'd be so much fun.
Real quick, I want to give a shout-out to Rigo Navaira, Destiny Navaira, watching all the way in Monterrey, Mexico. Joey Martinez, Bobby Gonzalez, Johnny O from K Alamos watching.
Wow.
Mario Barrios. I like that name, Mario Barrios. That sounds cool.
It sounds like a Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, right. Rigo said, Jase.
Rigo was with Vida for a while.
See, so he's got to be part of the reunion.
Dude,
he's got to be part of the show,
he
bro.
He was here, man, and he sang with us for a while and played some bass, and he's an amazing kid. I say kid, right? But I say it because he's younger than me. He's an amazing soul, man. Rigo, his sister,
Destiny,
their dad,
yeah.
man, they're all amazing. They're great people. You meet a whole lot of cool people. See, in the music business, you meet a lot of people, and a lot of them are just acquaintances. You have very few, at least for us, right? You have very few friends in the music business. So, like these people that we're mentioning, Rigo and them. I mean, these guys were friends, So it's always good to have people like that, not only in your corner, but you're in their corner as well. Like Rigo, him and Destiny started doing this thing, and it's just amazing, man. Now they're over here in Monterrey, and they're kicking ass, bro.
Speaking, you let the cat out of the bag, Jase.
I gotta switch positions.
Next Wednesday, my guest for next Wacky Wednesday is going to be Latin Grammy nominee Miss Destiny Navaira along with Rigo Navaira right here in the studio on Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. You're not going to want to miss it. I think they might be bringing a few extras. So stay tuned for that. If you're tuning in late and you're like, Bump, Jase Martin, what's going on? Jase Martin has a very cool story. You probably missed a good portion of it. but it's just getting good. It's just getting good. So make sure you hang out. Make sure you guys are sharing. Share Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. I would greatly appreciate it. And again, we have the new star effect. So if you want to show some love, send some stars. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Jase, so you do this Vida thing. While you were doing Vida, country music has always been a part of you?
Always. I grew up in a household, man, where we listened to so many different kinds of music. At least I did. You know, back then there was no CMT. It was TNN. You know, and back then it was the cable box where you would move the little thing like that, and I'd put it on that country music station, and I'd listen to and watch videos by like Hank Williams Jr. and Don Williams and you know, groups like Restless Heart and Little Texas and all these cool 80s and 90s country groups that kind of like, you know, and if I don't know if you recognize, if you know this right now, but like all that 90s stuff is coming back, you know. So I was watching all those guys, you know, when I was younger. So country music became a part of me. But at the same time, I was listening to Hot KTFM 102.7 and there was another, you know.
You hear his radio shit
man,
kicks
right?
on real quick.
Hot KTFM. You know, it was Power 93, you know, and they were playing Bon Jovi. They were playing, you know, MC Hammer, Color Me Bad, Vanilla Ice. You know, they were Vanilla Ice. Look, I'm going to show you something I do in my show that's really stupid but fun. So like we're like, you know, I'll be playing a song, right? I'm doing some country song, I don't know, some original song or some Luke Bryan song or something, right? And then we bust in, you know, now let me hear you say ice, ice, baby. Now let me hear you say ice, ice, baby. They were like, all right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon. Till you're gnarly, will it ever stop, yo? And we'll bust out, bro.
Dude, that was fucking badass.
No, man. And then we're like, I don't want to sing the whole thing here. We'll be like 3, 6, 9. Damn, you're fine. You know, from the window. You can turn anything into a country song, bro.
He said from the windows to the wall.
And then from there, this is what we do in our live show, and this is why I got in trouble the other day at the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival.
I got you.
We're gonna talk about that in a little while, but check this out. We'll go into like from there, we're like cruising down the street in my 6'4", jocking the bitches, slapping the hoes. Went to the park, you know. We will bust out with almost anything.
Dude, bro, you need to make a even if it's for shits and giggles, dude. You should sit somewhere and make an album of songs like that, of just music that people know, and a country version like that, acoustically, that shit would sell. So I know it'll sell at Trader's Village. It'll sell at Trader's Village.
I'll make copies at home, mira, and then I'll print my own label. We'll sell them there. But you know what? Actually, we should do that because that shit's fun, and people go nuts. I mean, we go from whatever, you know, down on the farm and churning some butter, do some country song, blah blah, and then we're like 3, 6, 9, and everybody that's dancing is like. And then we get to from the window to the wall part. They're like, "That's it, and they recognize it, and we just start, you know. But that's the fun part. So for those of you 80s and 90s kids that are listening, you know, but we do that like in our show. So I gotta tell you something, man. Just real quick. I gotta tell you something. For those of you guys that have never caught Jase Martin live, before I even go there, so we're two bands. We're Jase Martin, which is like a variety show, mainly country. But we do rock, pop, Tejano. We do Tejano. Dude, we go and play in other states where you would think there's no Spanish-speaking people, and there's not. And then we bust out with Puño de Tierra or something, you know, and the people go nuts. They love that accordion. They start dancing, and sometimes...
So you take the accordion with you?
I take the accordion with me.
Hala chinga!
And we bust, or we'll play cumbia. I don't care, bro. We'll sit there, man, and in a place like Lincoln, Nebraska, be like, ay, qué bonito bailan las hijas de Don Simón. And they're like, oh my God, and they go nuts and they start.
And then one Mexican in the back.
I had a lady, man, and she's like, oh my gosh, where did you learn Spanish? Did you take it in college? And I was like, my last name is Martinez, bitch. What are you talking about, guy? And they have no idea. But it's just fun to incorporate like all this different kind of stuff into the show because in here, bro, I'm a Tejano at heart.
You speak fluent Spanish?
I do.
I just had this conversation with, man, dude, somebody. Oh, man, No, I can't think. I think of somebody at work. But what I love about somebody like yourself that can speak fluent Spanish and English is that your English is super. It's good. You're not slanging it. You're not like it. You pronunciate everything correctly. But you can go from that and you turn the switch and it's like boom, Spanish. To me, that's amazing, right? Because growing up here, we learn Spanglish and we
Right.
mix, right? But if somebody can like literally carry a very and I'm not saying that if you speak Spanish and you learn English that you don't speak professionally or correct. I'm just saying very Americanized, right?
Right.
Like very very proper, and then you can switch it and talk Español de volada.
yeah.
Like that is freaking. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
and it's really cool because then we're able to not just sing and do different things in a show, but people that come up, like I've done country shows where somebody comes up and they're like, soy de Monterrey, me gustó bien mucho, no sé lo que están diciendo, pero mira, blah blah blah, and he's telling me this, and I'm going, pues muchas gracias, and he's like, ¿hablas español? Sí. And then we'll start conversing in Spanish. So now you just open yourself to speaking to twice as many people.
And they're comfortable with you
they're
now.
comfortable with you. They like you, and I love it because we get a chance to talk to so many different people now as opposed to just kind of being like.
You remind me of we had Michael Salgado here, and the same thing. Like when we started talking, people were messaging like, "Hey, this fool speaks English," and Michael's like, I'm from West. He's got a country drawl like he's from West Texas. Like, you know what I'm saying? What do you mean if I speak English? And people were freaking out because they're so used to hearing everything
Right.
in Spanish.
Exactly.
Let me see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Anyway, thank you guys for got quiet there.
I'm
Got
waiting
quiet
with you.
there. I thought Jase was gonna keep going on about something, but he just stopped.
So much for the guy that talks a lot. I'm trying to look at your phone like that. Read your messages, mira.
No, I'm looking at the chats, man. Again, everybody tuning in, thank you guys. All we ask you to do is share, man. If you're watching on behalf of Jase Martin or you're watching on behalf of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, just make sure you share the Facebook page, share the YouTube page. That's the way we continue to grow. And teach.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Go
to
ahead,
interrupt.
dale.
So I see my cousin Chris Perez is watching. He says, "Primo." Well, let me just say, "Primo." He's an amazing Chris Perez. His name it's a different Chris Perez. It's my cousin Chris Perez. Amazing accordion player. He has his own group. Him and his brothers, my cousins. They're called La Unión Dorada. They're a norteño group. Oh my gosh, the musicianship in that group is just amazing. And sometimes he would come and play like. So I play the accordion in our shows, but there's days where I'm like, "Primo, are you free? Yeah, let's come play." And then it brings this totally different element to like the group. So we'll be, because there's a difference in types of Latino music. You have norteño, tejano, conjunto, and he has this way of like combining these different elements where we'll go from like the Vida song, Botoncito de Cariño, Botoncito de Cariño, and from there we go into something else. But when he plays with us, we go from that one to like a Tigre song. And the groove will keep going and he'll just change it. And it kind of forces us to...
And you got to know the words.
You got to know the words. You got to know the music. Here we go. And we do that. And the guys hate me for that. So Steve and Stevie, I apologize right now because the guys hate me for it. I throw a lot of audibles and I'm the kind of guy in the band that says, you know what, guys, we're doing this song. And they're like, I said, this song, and it's in this key. Just keep it. And they're like, and I throw them into the swimming pool a lot without a life vest. So the guys in this band, and if you've ever seen them, they're amazing guys. It's only 3 of us. 3 guys. Sometimes we bring, a couple of other people. Like I'll bring my cousin Chris to come play. I got a friend of ours. His name is Chris. Plays keyboards.
When you say come, okay, I was gonna say what instruments do you have them?
Like my friend Chris Barnett will come in and he'll play some keys.
No steel guitar though?
No steel guitar. The reason why we don't have a steel guitar or a fiddle player is because we want to be able to play what we play live.
But if you're gonna play in Texas,
well, if you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a squeeze box in the band. We got one. So when they're like, "Man, you gotta play," you gotta have a fiddle in the band. How about a squeeze box?
There you go.
But we always try to do whatever we can do to play live, and I don't want to have to go on stage and then not have this element that's missing from the group.
Have you guys played up in the Midwest?
Yes. We've been...
The Jase Martin band's played in the Midwest?
Yes, we have. We've been fortunate enough to travel pretty much all over the country. And it's due to... I had a gentleman one time saw me acoustically. I was by myself. He said, I'm bringing you to Michigan, but I'm bringing the whole band. He hadn't even heard the whole band. I had the other day, there was a gentleman, he was like, I got to have you for our show in such and such. I was doing an acoustic by myself somewhere. And he hired the whole band, trusting, well, you know what, if this guy does this...
It means the band's got to be just as good.
Yeah. And everybody freaks out because it's a 3-piece band. That's it. And we try to fill in all the gaps to make sure that everything is just full, you know? And that's what I mean by, like, I throw the guys in the pool a lot because we're forced to... you know what, as a 3-piece band, you have to be tight. You have to be full, otherwise you're going to sound empty. And we always try to sound full. So sometimes I'm like, the other day, you know, like I was saying, we have another band, we're called the Standing Peppers. It's the same guys, but it's an 80s and 90s show. That's it. So we do nothing but
Standing
Peppers. Chiles Parados. And Chiles Parados.
Oh, shit.
And we're called the Standing Peppers, and people call, and it's crazy because I get calls from festivals and they're like, okay. And they're like, I just heard the lady laughing.
Oh my goodness, dude. Hilarious.
They get us to open for ourselves sometimes. Like, they'll okay, you know what? I want Standing Peppers to play from like 8 to 9:30. And then we take a break, we go to the back, we change, come back out, and we close as Jase Martin wearing totally different stuff.
Do people know it's the same guys?
Sometimes no. We were in Gonzales, Texas. So last year we did a show. We did a
Bien pedos. Hey, bro, I don't know, but that looks like the same button.
The first band sucked, but the second one was good. We did a show in Gonzales, Texas last year.
Oh shit!
For their Come and Take It. No, you ready for this? We did a show in Gonzales, Texas for their Come and Take It festival. I think it was last year, and we did it as 3 bands. We put together a Tejano band to open for Standing Peppers, to open for Jase Martin. We did the whole night. We did the music for the whole night. And I just found out the other day, because we did it this year. We just did it at the Standing Peppers because we had a whole lot of other stuff going on. But the young lady that was running it was like, you know, last year, they were like, man, that second band was better than the first one. But that last band, like, nobody could really tell. But for the first, you know, the first show, we had the cowboy hat on, singing, you know, playing accordion, blah, blah, blah. And the second show, you know, I dressed ridiculous in all this 80s gear, and we start playing all this really crazy stuff. And
when you say ridiculous, kind of like the, what do you call those dudes?
I look like, at this age, I should not be wearing that shit.
Well, what's the name of the group that plays all the 80s and 90s here? Spasmatics, yeah.
And sometimes people, they're like, man, we're going to hire you guys because you guys are cheaper than the Spasmatics. And I'm like, hey, man, whatever works, let's go.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to the Spasmatics.
Shout out to my buddy Sapo, man, in Corpus Christi, originally from Beeville. He said they played for me in Beeville for a party. The country and the cops are called for loud music. It was standing. It was the Standing Peppers and the Electric Cowboys. They were badass.
See? So I gotta say hi to Sapo, man. A big shout out going out to you, buddy. I appreciate everything you've done for like us when we were with Electric Cowboys and Vida, all the way up to Jase Martin. He called me today, a little earlier today, and he was like, "Hey, man, you can be on the show." Yeah, he's like, "I told Bumper about you a long time ago."
Yeah, he
and
did.
I was like,
He did.
Well, I appreciate that, man. That's cool. He's a great guy. He's very, very supportive. Like I said, even to this day. So the transition between all these different bands to keep fans and friends and people that are still supportive of you when you move over to something else is really special. Excuse me. And I'm grateful because that doesn't happen a lot. You get people that go and do their own thing, and then it's like, it's not the same. And it's not. It's not. But this over here is different. It's fun. We still keep that element of energy, because the one thing we want to do, even as a Texas country band, is we want to make sure that we sound and different from everybody else. So even as 3 guys, you know, I want to make sure that we don't sound like these other guys that are playing, especially around here, around town. We play mostly out of San Antonio, but we still have to be different. You have to be different. You know what I mean? And different,
to stand out for people to remember you.
Exactly.
For sure. you know, we were talking offline, and I've said this almost not every country artist I've had on here, but for the most part, almost every country artist I have on there is a Chicano background.
Right.
I want to send this out to the people on Facebook because I think I'm going to take this and run with it. I've been saying I would love to put together a ticket with the Solis brothers, Nate De Leon, Jase Martin. What's the other De Leon's name?
You got Jerry De Leon.
Yeah, Jerry De
You got
Leon, Mario Flores. Like, and I believe you guys would have a huge crowd because you guys all have your own following, right? That people, those are my dudes right there. You know what I mean? They come out and support. So I'm gonna do my damnedest, dude. I'm gonna see what I can do, even if it's something small. It's just some small. Everybody kind of shows up and it ends up being something really badass. Well, then we can maybe take it to another level. But I think a lot of people would show up for that.
That would be cool.
You would have a lot of support of the Tejano artists, just people here. You know, here in San Antonio, we love going out and hearing you guys acoustically. Whether we're out to have a beer or we're out to get fucking rowdy as shit. You know what I'm saying? Jase, what do you see? What's the difference in Texas country and Tejano when it comes to gigging and just the business in general?
So now we're getting into the whole. Now we're talking about the whole business side of it. The honest truth, at least over here with me, I got to use that as a disclaimer because a lot of people are probably gonna give me a lot of shit for it. Because sometimes, you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to face certain facts, you know, and one of them being is that we had a lot more opportunities in country music than we did in Tejano music because of the way the business has gone. Now, I'm not saying Tejano music has gone down or has died or whatever. Like, that's not what I'm saying. You know, I'm neither here nor there. You know, I always try to keep all my opinions to myself. That's the kind of person that I am. You know what? You're here. I'm right here. But there have been more opportunities on this side, and I'm talking about, you know, gigging. You know, in Tejano music over the last several years, you know, the shows were far and in between. You know, they were here, and we were playing weekly still, but it was just kind of like they weren't as good as they used to be. Because the industry had moved to a place where it can't afford to be, you know, at a certain place like it used to be.
Okay.
You know, back in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s even, it was easier for a band to make more money, to survive, to tour. And that's not like that anymore. There are certain bands that can, you know, but most of the ones that we've had before can't. Even new artists, you know, and it's hard to measure success when you have a hard time, number one, getting on radio, recording music, getting into clubs and fairs and festivals. And Tejano music has kind of come up a little bit here. You know, we got a brand new radio station in town that helped out a lot.
I think I've been saying, you know, the last 18 months for me, again, just like you said, everybody has an opinion. Mm-hmm. You can agree, we can agree to disagree. I believe Tejano music is gone up in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with I talked to Gabe Zavala today for a good while. Great conversation. And you know, I like to see that a lot of people are starting to work together.
Right. That
never in a million years would you have thought would have worked together. And I said something that, you know, he was like, this is the way I see it. I think as a genre, as a Tejano genre, if people stop walking with chips on their shoulders and realize, like, look, we don't have time or we don't have the resources to be walking around with fucking chips on our shoulder.
Right.
Like, let's do this together and we'll all benefit from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm hoping for. I didn't mean to cut you off and because that was a real deep question. I wanted you to, you know, the difference in and Tejano and Texas country
Right.
when it comes to the business.
Right. And I've gotten, don't get me wrong, I've gotten hated upon for, number one, oh, what Jase Martin, what did you do? Cut your name in half? And that's not what happened. So I got to clarify something. And people call me Jase, they call me Jase Martin, they call me Jay. So it's cool to call me Jase Martin. And
That's my
totally cool.
dad's name. You can't just cut it in
Can't just
half.
cut it in half. You know, but I'm Jason Martinez, the singer for the band Jase Martin. And a lot of people think that I actually changed the name, you know. And what it is we developed this band name. And we're still Steven Gonzalez, Steven Aguirre, Jason Martinez, playing for the group Jase Martin. And sometimes, you know, people are like, well, you know, what's going on? What's happening? And sometimes it's hard for people to understand that, you know what, this is something that we have these opportunities to do this. You know, we're doing big fairs, big festivals. We're headlining these
It's called marketing.
It's called marketing. You know, and that's
Just
another
for
thing.
the regular person out there, it's called marketing, man.
And it's true because, you know, as Tejanos, sometimes it's hard because, you know, sometimes you find, you know, things like, you know, hate, envidia, and I'm gonna be real with you, bro.
Hell yeah, that's what it's about.
And that's just the way the industry has been, and no one can tell me different. At least if you're a musician in the industry, you can't fucking tell me different, because you're not gonna tell me that every Tejano musician at some point or another has been like, man, there's a lot of envidia in the industry. There's a lot of it, and there is.
Aisha, is that you? She's an artist. She's watching.
She's an awesome man. That girl can sing.
Hell yeah,
She's badass.
shout out to Aisha.
Hell yeah.
I always say her name wrong. Aparicio.
Aparicio. Yeah, she's an amazing vocalist. Sings with Ram. Ram is probably my favorite Tejano male vocalist. I love that guy. He's an amazing singer. But you see, that's what I'm talking about. Is like we're in a day and age where we can't afford, not just monetarily, to not have these kind of concerts and stuff, but we can't afford to be dicks to each other either. If we want to rise together as a genre, then we have to work together.
For sure.
And that's the problem that I saw for years. You know, and I saw a nice rise in Tejano music over like you said, over the last 18 months. You're right. And that makes me so happy, because all of a sudden we're seeing this light at what at least we thought was a tunnel that was kind of closing in. Because for a while there, people were saying, well, Tejano music is dying, it's dead. Then other people are like, no, it's alive and well, and this and this. If you're in the industry, you know very well that a lot of the bands weren't playing. We used to play 3-4 times a week.
Well, I just think everybody likes to compare it to the 90s, man. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've said it a million times. I don't think it'll ever be the 90s. But I think what we really need to focus on is because we have a lot, I say we, because I say I'm part of the genre now. Like, right. We have to be able to reach that younger generation. That's all. That is the piece missing to the puzzle right now. You could tell me a million things. The piece missing to the puzzle is the 15-year-old to 25-year-old. When we can find that 15 and 25-year-old to relate to their cultural, to their culture and their music, and be excited about it the way we were when we were 15, 16, 17, 18, all, you know, to 25. When we can do that again, you're going to freak out on how much this shit's going to grow. And we don't have that many young bands.
Right.
You guys were, like, if you go back to think of Vida, think of La Mafias, like all Famas, Sombras, all Fiebre, all these dudes were young when they started.
Right.
They were very relatable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The old people loved them. The young girls, they loved it. Right? Well, if there's young girls loving it, well, the guys are going to go because there's young girls. You know what I'm saying? And so I just don't think that we have any of those. We don't have any of those bands right now.
Right.
We might have one or two, but not in abundance like we had back then.
Agreed. And you brought up a good point, bringing in the young listener. Because like I said, remember I told you when I was younger, I thought it was old man music. Then I got into the accordion, and man, I was 13 years old, and I just blew my mind. So I became a young listener and a young player, and it just, and everybody back then, man, I had cousins that were 14 and 15 that were loving the genre. They were loving Tejano music, and we don't have that. It's there's a cycle that I was laying in bed, you know, a couple of years ago, and I was thinking to myself, okay, what's going on here? And I was thinking that because I was thinking about how bands weren't playing 3 or 4 times a week. And no, we can't compare it to the 90s. Don't compare it. But at the same time, we have to try to bring it back to where it's a very, what's the word? to where the genre is
It's relevant, dude.
exactly.
And that's what I say with my. That's you know, our buddy Rick Balderramo says Tejano ain't dead, baby. Bumper always says, doing what I can to keep Tejano relevant.
Right.
Whatever I can to keeping Tejano relevant.
And that's why even in our country shows, so y'all know if you come see Jase Martin, even in our country shows, we throw in some Tejano music because that's who we are in here as well. You know, we do that. And no matter where we go, whether it's here, there, it doesn't matter. Whether they're Spanish people, non-Spanish speaking people, they all love it. It's an awesome genre of music. And I would personally love to see new bands. I would love to see them recording good quality recordings with catchy music, good music. Because like I was saying, you know, I was lying in bed one day and I was like, okay, what's going on here? And I came up with this cycle. At least this is for me. I don't know what you think, what you want, man, but not you. I'm saying, I think what you guys want, but for me personally. So if a band can record a catchy song that has the potential of becoming a hit, right? And they record it in good quality. Then they send it to these radio stations. Radio stations have the power to make that song a hit. Radio can do that. So if they're able to do that, they create hits. Then club owners and fairs and festivals are able to hire these bands because they have hits, which means they'll have the crowd coming in. They'll be able to pay money. They can afford to pay these bands what they need to continue to tour, right? Okay. Then after they make money at the door, they continue to do dances because they're able to afford to do so. But it takes the help of the artist, number one, coming up with good music, coming up with good recordings. Then it's radio's job to take that and make it a hit. Then after radio, it's the promoter or whoever it is that's hiring you to make sure that they get the people into this club or wherever that's going to go see you. Then it just cycles out because.
But if one of them fails, they all fail.
Exactly.
It's a machine. That's the problem. You know, and radio, terrestrial radio, like, you know, OG 99.9, whatever, you know, FM. There used to be Tejano stations everywhere, and there's not. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's okay because there's ways to get there. You know, music now is instant. Like you want to hear a song, you can hear it right then and there when you want to hear the song. You don't got to wait for it. These young kids, they don't know what it's like to sit around with your Theo's tape, your cassette, and then you put tape on the corners. So, and you're gonna record over a $8 album he just bought, but it's the only one you can find.
Exactly.
And you want to record a song, and you gotta wait by the radio, and right when you know it's gonna come on, you hit record, play and record, and now you have it. Or writing the lyrics, right? There was no way to Google lyrics. No. You'd have to sit there, pause.
I sang the wrong lyrics to so many Chicago songs. It's ridiculous, and you know, and now you can look that shit up. But it wasn't like that back then.
Dude, that's pretty. I have nobody's talk about that cycle. That's cool, man. And that's for. I would assume that's for any genre.
It is any genre. You know, that's a formula that any genre can follow. You know, to be able to help become successful or remain relevant. But it also boils down to the fans as well. You know, you got, like you said earlier, there's not enough young people listening to it. So all these people that were listening to it, like. I'm talking about myself. When I was younger, I was listening to it, right? So everybody knew that I listened to Tejano music. Now that I'm older, because I've heard it so much, I listen to different things, right? So, you know, it's hard for me to really express and show, you know, all this Tejano music, and I'm guilty of it as well, when I'm doing nothing but listening to country and rock in 80s and 90s. So I'm part of the problem, you know? So I didn't.
He said, "I'm part of the problem."
I mean, and that's just the way it is, right? And it's that's not a bad thing. To listen to other genres is not a bad thing because, dude, we love music. The problem is when you start falling out of that, the young people don't get the opportunity to listen to it. Nobody shows them that. So they don't get into it. They don't become part of the people that end up going to the fairs, festivals, clubs later on, you know? All the people that were going to the shows in the 90s are older. They're married. They don't go out anymore. They're older. They're older to where they can't go out anymore. We lost a lot of those fans. Now, as far as attendance goes, and attendance means no money for the club or the promoter, which means they can't afford to pay the band to come back. So you have bands that are breaking up and can't tour anymore because they can't survive because there's no money involved.
But yet, Bad Bunny comes to town,
Shit.
and everybody and their mothers there, they know
Everybody lose
every
their
word
fucking
to the
mind.
song.
Dude, I know.
Right? And, you're talking about problems, dude. We all have problems, and, problems come in all shapes and forms, and you never know when you might have a serious problem on your hands. If you guys don't know, you're going to be like, Bumper, what the hell are you talking about? I was a victim of gun violence. And being a victim of gun violence made me think I was not a guy who went around carrying guns. But after that happened to me and I got shot, it changed my way of thinking. And so I didn't just go out and buy a gun, right? Like I just, I'm a Marine for 20 plus years. You would think I know how to handle a gun, and I do, but I absolutely do. But you don't know the laws. You don't know when to use it, when not to use it. So with that being said, a brand new sponsor for Bumper's Wacky Wednesday is All My Sons Self-Defense. Visit allmysonsselfdefense.training for hit them up, right? All My Sons Defense at gmail.com, or you can call them at 210-375-5822. Taylor and Brandon will show you what you need to know. They will teach you. You take the courses. Bumper, come on. We're from the rancho. We don't need to know all this. Yes, you do. Because I promise you, if you ever have to use this, you want to know what you have to say, what you're not supposed to say. These guys, they do it all. You can do group classes, single classes. Hit them up, man. If you're really looking at something, maybe you and your wife, you're looking to want to buy your wife, or you have young adult kids living on their own. You just don't want them going around carrying a gun. Hit up my people at All My Sons Self-Defense, man. They're great, God-bearing people, and they will teach you everything you need to know. So yeah, hit them up. I'm getting text messages from Leo from La Calma.
Wow.
See, dude, everybody knows Wednesdays is Wacky Wednesday, and everybody wants a message and hit me up on.
I knew Leo when he was a tiny baby. He was little.
He was
little Leo. His dad was an amazing person, man. He's so cool. Like I'm a great band. Good friend of mine, Buddy Vargas, plays with that
bro.
band too. Those guys are
Awesome,
amazing,
dude.
man.
Awesome. So we were talking about the question, the difference between Tejano music, and the reason I bring Tejano up so much is because his background is Tejano music. Grupo Vida, the Electric Cowboys, and now he has his Texas country band, Jase Martin. Now going into the countryside, is there money to be made?
Yes. It depends on how you handle your I'm going to call it the career. I got fortunate enough that in all of this, I was able to build. I'm not saying I was able to build, but I was able to build a name because of where I was before. And that's
Okay.
why I can't hate on anybody. All these guys that were with Vida and Vida organization, they all helped us all. That organization helped us all become and get to where it is that we were at. So if you're able to provide a good show, be reasonable with your pricing, and create a reputation to where people talk about you, and in a good way or a bad way, doesn't matter, whatever. But if you're able to develop a good reputation, don't be a no-show. Like I said, be reasonable with pricing.
Show up on time.
Show up on time. We get there early, set up, do sound check. We try to be. We tour with so many of the big boys that we learn. You know what? If you want to play with the big boys, then you got to start acting like them. So that's what we do. No, by no means are we.
Do you
timid.
drink when you sing?
I don't. Every once in a while, I take maybe a little shot of something to kind of help the throat, but I don't. And the guys on stage don't either. We're up there and we make sure we got it. There's only three of us. If one of us fucks up, you can tell.
It's funny you say that because, country or Tejano, any genre, there's some musicians that I've met that I find it very interesting on how serious they take their craft of going on stage and performing.
Right.
Right? Because they're entertainers, right?
Exactly.
And just like we don't show up to work. Like I'm not gonna go show up and do what I do for a living with a bottle of tequila and a shot glass, or a 6-pack of Miller Lights. Like I'm not gonna do.
Right.
We're not gonna do that.
Right.
And they've told me that. That's to look at it that way. Like, are you gonna show up to work drunk? This is our work.
Right.
Right. But at the same time, some of the coolest shows I've ever seen, the dudes are like, hey, let's go shots for everybody. They take some shots. They're not getting hammered, but they're really embracing the crowd, and they're interacting with the crowd.
Absolutely. And it's, being a certain way is not, is not, that doesn't mean that everybody has, because there's plenty of bands out there that develop this persona to where, we'll have a, hey, you know what, everybody, how y'all doing? Make some noise, and then take a swig of Jack or something. And that's their persona, that's their thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can still run a good business and be a certain way on stage, and with the people in the crowd and stuff like that. It just depends, But as far as like, is there money to be made? There is, because there's a lot more, at least right now. And Tejano music can get back to that point. All we need is more fairs, more festivals, more bands, more hits. We can do this together. And I say together because I'm still here.
You're still here. You don't go nowhere. Hell yeah.
Exactly. So, and it can get to that point. And I think we can do that right now. Right now that we got a kickstart, it's coming up a little bit. Dude, mira, boom. Let's help it. Let's help it.
It's so easier said than done. I really wish that sometimes I wish that I could record conversations I have. Long conversations just start from somewhere and we end up somewhere else on phones, because I think people would just be amazed on how many the way an artist thinks. Right? Y'all are different. Every one of you is different. But when I have deep conversations with my friends who are artists, like, these dudes fucking work hard, bro. Their mind is spinning. You're not there. Y'all's mind is spinning 100 miles an hour all the time. All the time. What's your next move?
Right.
What's my next move? If this didn't work, okay, let's do this. I need to get to the studio. I need to record a song. Man, how come people didn't like the song? Over here, they liked it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So much stuff's going on, but the love for the music is the same.
Absolutely.
And I find it just fascinating, bro, that you can embrace Texas country, coming from a Tejano background, conjunto background, but you play it badass.
Oh man!
I mean, you just did from the windows to the wall in a country way I've never heard before. So what's the topic here, DJ Fuego? There's no topic. The topic is the DJs ain't playing enough Tejano music. Fuego, no, hombre, no te crees. Welcome to the show, Fuego. I don't know if you're in Michigan or if you're in, I don't know, where are you from? Somebody put, Grupo Vida gets wasted on the stage.
I see that, and they do.
That was our friend Vanessa Salinas out from Wisconsin. Now, I've been to their show. I see them get wasted, but it's part of the entertainment.
Right.
It's different if you get wasted and you cannot play your music. If you get wasted and you're missing rips, or you know what I mean? The band director is there saying, "Hey, motherfucker," like, you know what I mean? Maybe to the naked ear out there, we're not gonna catch it.
Right.
But you guys are cussing each other out on the talk back, or like,
oh yeah,
hey, you know what I mean? Like, you guys, what's going on?
Groups like Grupo Vida, those they get up there and but you know what, man? That's their thing. That's their thing. I can't criticize that's their thing.
I couldn't wake up the next day and do it again, dog.
Shit, dude.
They do it.
Hell
week
yeah, they
in
do.
and week out.
They do. And they play big arenas, man. They're coming to the Alamo Dome, I think. I mean, they're just, those guys
November 19th. I'll be there. Make sure you get your tickets. Well, I'm glad you said that. Let me throw this out there. My pet peeve. Grupo Vida will beat the attendance record that Bad Bunny had on the Alamo Dome. And if it doesn't happen, I don't know. I'll owe everybody a chili dog or some shit. I don't know. But I want them to beat Bad Bunny. I want them to beat Bad Bunny. So we talked about Tejano. doing the Texas country thing. Let me tell you about my event on Saturday. The Saturday, I told you I went by and then shout out to a good friend of ours, Panchito. I don't know if you know Pancho, the sound guy.
Sound engineer.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
Awesome guy, right?
Awesome
Big
guy.
heart. So he invited me and my wife to a VIP exclusive table. Dude just treated us like gold, bro. Again, big shout out to Panchito. But he invited us to go see Invasores, Cardenales, and Grupo Pesado. Bro, those are three. There was 4 groups. I don't remember the 4th group. They were the very opening group. But those 3 groups could sell out arenas anywhere by themselves, right? But they were all together on one ticket. And I want to say this because I want my Tejano fans to be like, what? Because this is how the world looks at us. There was a line wrapped around the corner of Cowboys. Pre-sale tickets for that show were $80. After 10 p.m. without a pre-sale ticket, Jase, how much do you think the ticket was?
I'm going to say $100 a ticket.
$130 a ticket. $130 a ticket, and the line was wrapped around the corner.
Wow.
But my Tejano fans, we tell them it's $12 before 9, 15 after 10, or 15 after 9, and it is freaking we're pulling teeth.
Right.
You know what I mean? We get 100 people, we're like, man, we get $130, and people were wrapped around the building.
Right.
I know, different crowds, but come on, man. If we want to grow the fan base, we have to help too. Can't put it all on the artists. Can't put it all on the radio stations, on the social media people. Let's take a little blame for ourselves and start going out and support these acts, man. I can't wait to see you guys live, dude.
Oh, brother, it's you got to check it out. It's so much fun, and there's so much. It's like we do the whole country thing, and it's cool, and then we do this other stuff. The Latino stuff where it just kind of for somebody that knows what we've done and what we used to play, it just kind of reminds you. Oh yeah, these guys they still do this stuff, and we do it because number one, we love it. Number two, the crowd loves it, the people love it. And number three, it helps us keep playing.
What is it? Do you play any George Strait?
You know what? I don't do any George Strait in the show. I'll tell you why.
Hell, we got to know why Jase Martin doesn't play George Strait in the state of Texas.
George Strait is one of my favorite artists of all time. I love George Strait. But the number one reason why we don't play any George Strait is because every other band out there plays George Strait. That's the only reason why. So that's the only reason why. But I have to say, before I get any hate on this, I love George Strait. And when we first started doing this stuff, we were playing George Strait songs. Everybody's playing them. So you know what? Let them play them. As far as us, we don't. But I do have to say that, George is King George, bro.
Hey, I'm telling you what, if I go see Jase Martin, I'm going to be that drunk Mexican up front yelling, I want to hear a goddamn George Strait song. And I ain't leaving until he plays a George Strait song.
You gotta be like, Amarillo by morning.
Yeah.
Up from San Antonio. Everything that I've got is just what I've got on. And the sun is hiding that Texas sky, and I'll be bucking at the county fair. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo, I'll be there. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo, I'll be there. You go to a show, bro, I will play that for you.
Bro, I'm glad you said that because a guy watching named Adam Garcia, he's like, dude, saw you at the Peanut Festival. You rocked it straight through from beginning to end.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a badass comment for
That's
a fan to somebody to see you at a festival and because not all bands can, they might, but you can rock it all the way through. That's badass.
So, number one, what is his name?
His name was Adam Garcia.
Adam Garcia. I appreciate you going out there and checking it out and you making a cool comment like that. We always try to provide this, like I said earlier, this high energy show to where it's nonstop.
He said great variety, and you guys mixed it awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We appreciate that on behalf of myself and Steve and Stevie. We appreciate that. We try to do it to where there's no dead air in between songs. We'll play a song, boom, 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 we're done. And as we're holding it out, boom, we start something else. There's really no dead air, and that doesn't leave any room for for air.
Hey, dude, but do the Texas country artists do like the Tejano fans when y'all are done?
How's that?
And it's just like,
Otra. They do, but they're like, encore.
that sounds whack. Encore? Is that
Encore, yeah. Encore, otra. And then you'll get that one Mexicano that, otra. And we'll do it, We'll bust out with something, and it's just so much fun. And I appreciate that comment. That was the day we did the two festivals. We went over to the Big Red after the Peanut Festival. That was our first time playing the Peanut Festival as Jase Martin. So it's good to see that people really enjoyed the show.
Good crowd out there?
Good crowd. Really good crowd.
Each Floresville, man.
Oh, they came out. They represented that day.
Yeah, but we whipped y'all's ass on Friday. Them Beeville Trojans, baby, went out of Floresville. Shout out to my nephew and my cousins. My nephew, Colin, and my little cousin Lana. They put a kicking on Floresville's ass. I went out there and watched them on Friday. So we got a guy that's continuously breaking the chat. His name is Jonathan Pacheco.
Jonathan.
He says, freestyle.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's look who it is. He's always watching. Even when I don't think he is, he's there watching. Jase is a great musician over his country, and Tejano are great. Joey Rodriguez, maybe that's the guy I can talk to help me put.
He would be the guy.
Right?
Joey, he's an amazing person to work with. He's got to be some stuff.
He's the most hated man in Tejano music.
Probably.
No, he is.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Why?
Joey is the most hated man in Tejano music because he always goes like that. Oh, that's what he does.
I was gonna say that. I fucking love that guy. Big shout out going out to Joey, man. Thanks for watching. He's that guy's so cool. We've worked together on some stuff, and he's amazing. I see here también. Let's see. They even danced the Tejano tune with no accordion. So I didn't take the accordion that day because we only played an hour. But we played Puño Tierra, puro pinche guitarra y bass, and people were dancing. Anthony Gonzalez, him and LJ, Chase Knight.
Chase Knight's watching.
Yeah, they're watching.
Shout out to man. You know what, dude? Every time Chase Knight comes to San Antonio, it's already happened twice. They come like bump. They tag me, and I get pumped up, and then I go and look at the date. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm working. I'm going out of town or doing something. So I haven't had a chance to see those guys live, but they're doing really well. I love to see people that have come through here doing well, bro. So like now you're gonna be on my your
radar,
and when I see you, I'm gonna make sure if I can get there, I'm gonna go out there and watch it. Shiri Garza said, "So proud of you. Remember coming into our pharmacy economy when you were a little boy. Love to hear you sing." See that?
She's known my family for a long time. I was a kid when I started going. They're on the south side as well, and man, I've known her she's known me since I was a kid. We were going in there and getting our prescriptions and our.
What's your favorite Vida song to sing?
My favorite Vida song to sing is probably so I got two. I've loved Vida throughout all the years, everything from Escúchame, te quiero mucho. quisiera darte todo el mundo. Cuando te miro, right, it was esa mujer, la quiero ver en mis brazos junto a mí. Esa mujer. So, but that's not my favorite. I love that song. But it's not my favorite. I was a huge fan of like, I used to love like, well, shit, man. This was like back in like when they had Eddie. Yo sé que al verme me muestras disgusto. And you had Sonny and Tim just fucking playing that accordion and that. But that's not my favorite song to sing. And then we had Dime Cómo Viviré, we had Cumbia Carrito, we had Vueltas y Vueltas, yo quiero bailar, vueltas y vueltas, te quiero mirar. That's not my favorite song to sing. I'll play you the whole catalog of everything, man. Till what time? Will you work tomorrow? Because I'm leaving.
No, I'm good, bro. You're good.
Because, man, we'll be here till 1. So, I actually, man, we play tomorrow. We're going to Katy, Texas tomorrow.
Katy,
I gotta
Texas.
go to a concert. And we're doing it as the Standing Peppers, Chiles Parados. It's an 80s and 90s
Chiles
night.
Parados.
Central Green Park tomorrow. And then Friday, we got a Bay City, a private, and then Saturday.
I need a Chile Parado.
Chile Parado.
Fucking
Hashtag
t-shirt,
that
dog.
bitch.
I need a Chile Parado
You know what? I
t-shirt.
need to do that. Watch. You're gonna get one in a package over here.
Hell yeah, that'd be badass.
And then-
So keep going. Where we at?
So-
Still wasn't your favorite
That
Vida
still
song.
wasn't my favorite Vida song, you know. The very first single we ever recorded with Vida was Yo he vivido una vida muy difícil. Yo he vivido sin buenas condiciones. And then from there, man, we had Mujeres. Botoncito de Cariño was before that when we had Eddie. When they had Eddie, I wasn't there yet when Eddie was there. But that's still not my favorite stuff. Those are all the classic songs that Vida had that are, you know. But when I became the singer, we recorded a single, and it was called Volverme a Ver. And it was a rock and roll cumbia. So the first thing I did when we recorded our first single after I became the singer was, I said, you know what, all right, but I'm bringing some rock. Being honest, because I all these different genres of music, man, I love. And I love 80s, 90s rock and all that stuff. And we put together a song called Volverme a Ver. And it's kind of dark, you know. De vez en cuando recuerdo cuando estábamos juntos. It's very minor, you know, very kind of like sad and dark. And it was actually kind of like our own Spanish take of, you remember? Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Yeah.
And it was like that. De cortaste de mi vida. Fui tu amante y ahora no quiero nada. It was just such a cool, like, heavy song. But that's my second favorite. No, that was my first favorite song to sing with Vida. And my second one was, we did this remake. I used to play with a band called Elio Quintanilla and the Rough Riders. Now, I don't know if you know who Elio is, but Elio was one of those guys in the early 90s that was touring everywhere. And he had this hit song. He was on the Manny. You remember Manny label?
Yeah, Manny.
So Manny had Culturas, Manny had Tropa F, and he had Elio Quintanilla. And he had a song that was like, Si me quieres, no me quieres, si me quieres, no me quieres, sacan las hojitas y después me voy a botar. And that's my second favorite song. The first song was Volverme a Ver. Second one was Las Margaritas. Because Volverme a Ver gave me the opportunity to kind of throw what I am inside out into the recording process. You know, if you listen to the song, there's a lot of real harsh, hard vocals. You know, I sang my ass off, you know, trying to make that into this, you know, this heavy rock cumbia song, you know, something totally different that just wasn't out there. And then when we did Margaritas, it was almost like my own personal tribute to one of my favorite artists of all time, which is Elio. I played in his band for a couple of years. And they were an amazing set of musicians.
Elio Quintanilla.
Man, he is. His son, Elio, plays drums in the industry. He's an amazing drummer. All those guys are so great. That music from back then. And back then, it was about dancing. You know, so we'd go see Elio, and everybody was just dance. And we had a great time.
What's your if you're drinking a beer with your homies, you're on a Tejano kick, what song do you just think that blows people up? Like, they go, Jason, what the hell? How do you know that song? Is there a song that you know, like if you're drinking, you're buzzed, and you're just like, if I play this right now, dude, these people out here are going to go nuts.
Oh, bro, and I think a lot of musicians are going to agree. Like, tragos y amargo licor, que no me hace siento como un cobarde y hasta me pongo a llorar. That one, it doesn't matter whether you play it here or in Maine or in Idaho. Everybody knows that song. And it's one of those, and that's kind of like a cop-out. But at the same time, that's the song. Tragos Amargos. Puño de Tierra, huge song. Huge is just, everybody just knows it. And oh, that was at the Peanut Festival. That's the one we played. We said, let's do one Tejano song, you know. Because we were just going to do straight up country for that 1 hour, just 1 hour.
Yeah.
And we're like, nah, man, I just started, right? I'm singing some song, blah, 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 blah. We're finished country song. And I'm like, you know what, man? It's so awesome to have a job where you get paid to do what you do in the backyard with your uncles on a Saturday night when we were kids. You know, we'd sit there and they'd barbecue and we, you know, they'd drink some beers and, you know, I was too young, but they'd drink beers and listen to, you know, Pagando paso la vida, no más recorriendo el mundo. And people go nuts. They love it. And everybody dances it. It doesn't matter whether they know how or not. They get out there and they dance it. There's so much animo in the music that it gets everybody up and going.
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, this interview is freaking super, super badass.
I hope you're enjoying it, brother.
And the reason I say that is because without having to you know, say, hey, this, that, you already know. Like, you already know what's coming, and you know, you said, oh, I like to talk a lot. For me, that's great. But for the fans of Wacky Wednesday, man, they know that bumpers are really big on our cultura.
Right.
And I really like to say, you know, I'm not just a Tejano fan. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Texas country fan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said earlier, I really love to see my people following their dreams, right? But not forgetting where they come from.
Right. Right.
And I think almost every Texas country artist I've had on the show has had some way, some form. It's in their background somewhere.
Right.
It's in their rearview mirror, and they don't forget it. They every now and then you got to look in there to remember where you came from.
Right.
You know, and to see you being happy about doing, you know, Jase Martin, that's badass, bro.
Thank you.
That's badass, because in my mind, I'm picturing you're doing all this music, and it leads me to what I just said, right? About looking in the rearview mirror. Sometimes people say, put that behind you, right? Hey, it's okay to look in that rearview mirror every now and then. And in anything that you do, right? It's okay to look in that rearview mirror, because what it does, it reminds you of where you were at. Now, where you want to go.
Exactly.
And where am I going?
Right.
And what you're doing is fucking super badass, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it's what we do, you know, and it's, I have to say this, you know, not because I'm sitting here in front of you, you know, but the fact of the matter is doing things like this and getting to meet and talk with people like you that are so supportive of you know, of all these different people doing different things. That's fucking badass, because that is one of those things that you always have people, well, I'm going to support this. For me, it's country and that's it. Okay. For me, it's Tejano and that's it. You know, I've done shows where I've played only 2 country songs the whole night, and I have somebody come up and they're like, you play too much country. And I'm like, I bet I only did 2 songs. And I've done country shows where, you know, I played like at the Spanish show and they're like, everything was great except for that Spanish. And I'm like, for real? Now, most of the time, it's not like that. 99.99999% of the time, it's not like that. But it has happened. So to get together with people, you know, or with someone like yourself that supports all these different genres and supports, you know, us as Chicanos, and it's not even about being racist. Oh, we're just no, but you know what? It's nice to see all these people coming up, man. You know, you got Giovanni and the Hired Guns, the Last Bandoleros, Emilio's boys.
Yeah, hell
you guys
yeah.
are doing amazing. How fucking badass is that?
Good Morning America. What the que más quieres?
Dude, that is, how proud are we, being from Texas, to see that on Good Morning America? That's badass.
For sure,
we shouldn't
man.
be hating on it We should be loving it. You know why? Because people like that help open the doors for people like us to go in that direction. And how cool would that be? That's cool. You know what I mean? That's badass.
Have you, in your time that you've been on the road, you ever stop at Kicker 106 in Beeville?
Yes, absolutely.
With Big Dan?
Big Dan, I'm gonna tell you something.
Prayers
Dan,
for Big Dan, man. He's
big time. He's an awesome guy. I love that guy too. But him, him and Sapo and yeah, good friend of ours
Aztec
down there.
Chevrolet, all the guys there in Aztec
absolutely.
Chevrolet.
Big shout out to all them, man. These guys, they have been such good friends and such supportive people through all these years. Big Dan has just been, he's been awesome, man, this whole time. A good friend of ours down there, Alan, hooks us up with some shows, and he's an amazing. All of those guys are just so cool.
Bumper, ask Jason, what was the name of the song that he made a video here? It had a girl playing pool. It's a country song. If he remembers, I can't remember. DJ Kid from Jay-Z's Tejano nightclub here in Abilene, Texas, back in the day.
Wow. Well, maybe I just didn't like it. And maybe I'm just not the kind to only have one woman on my mind. Or maybe I'm just a drifter. And maybe I'll be long gone. To hell with the world, I'll just go on my own. And then the chorus is like, 'cause I'm the man that makes you happy. I'm the man that makes you smile. And I'm the one that takes it all away for a little while. It was called Little While, and it was recorded on an album that had not been released yet. We did that. We recorded that song. The girl was playing pool, and our good friend of ours, his name is James, played the male role in there. Cause I was too chubby to play the male role, so I wasn't gonna do that. I'm gonna stay behind the camera, mira, with the guitar in front.
There you go, Florencio. You got your answer there, DJ Kid.
I hope y'all don't mind, man, that I bust out with this stuff. You know what I mean?
Hell, dude, I told you earlier, if you do that, these ratings go through the roof, right? Two Mexicans talking only goes so far, bro. The minute somebody goes by and they're like, hey, somebody's playing a guitar. What the hell's going on over here?
I'm gonna show you. Can I show you something?
Yeah, let's do it.
I had Jonathan earlier. He went on there and he was like, freestyle. So we used to do this thing in our show where it was freestyle. You remember? Bum, 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 bum,
Bum, bum, bum, bum.
And Mike Molini, our keyboard player, would play the lead, and then he would sing it. He would throw his voice through this vocoder. Sounded like a robot. There's a party. And we used to play that. So it's like, what the fuck are they doing? We have this thing called a rock and roll cumbia, where it's a cumbia beat, and we throw a bunch of 80s and 90s songs in there. And it includes like Backstreet Boys and Beastie Boys and Nirvana.
And Jason, you remember all the words of these songs, dude?
No. And my wife gives me so much shit. A big shout out going out to her because she's going to attest to this. She's at home watching this going, he doesn't know the lyrics. And you know what? I try my best. I'm going to give you all a secret. So whenever I'm like, da 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 da, and then I'm like, let me hear you sing it, and I point the microphone at the crowd, it means that I forgot the lyrics. So you gotta sing it, porque mira, you know.
You're not the only artist that does that.
and I refuse to get a teleprompter. I'm gonna do this on my own until I can't. But at the same time, sometimes I need your help. I do tell a story in the show, which is true story. We used to do a whole lot of Journey and Styx and Foreigner, all that cool stuff where the guys are singing really, really high, and a couple of years back, I've done martial arts and self-defense all my life. And I was in a jiu-jitsu fight, and I had a bad throat accident. So I can't sing as high as I used to. So I'm always telling the people.
Hey, real quick, turn that way. Turn that way.
You checking my ears? Yeah. You don't want to know why they're still okay? Because I would never get myself caught in the choke.
Wait, just for you guys to know, if somebody ever tells you I do jiu-jitsu, be like, okay, but you got to look at their ears because their ears are not all jacked up. Either one, they're good at jiu-jitsu, or two, they've got their ass fucking at it too. Bro. Didn't mean to get in the middle.
No. It's good. And I would be like, are my ears fucked up? My wife would be like, no, okay, I got to keep them like that. You know, but I try my best never to get caught in any kind of a choke. You know what I mean? It was like, it's do or die. No, I'm going to forget it.
Alan Pilgrim, what's up, man, from Beeville, Texas?
There he is. There he is. Who's super cool. Everybody down in everybody, man. All these different cities that are chiming in, from the people that from the people that I haven't heard from in such a long time to the people that I'm barely meeting now on this thread. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is this is one hell of it. I'm enjoying this interview.
Hell yeah. It's different from the radio station, brother.
It is different. We get a chance to, to just sit here and just talk. And that's what me. I love to talk. And that's what I've always liked doing. Sitting here, bro, where I can bring this thing and we just jam. And like I was saying, the whole freestyle thing, we used to do that freestyle song, right? So every once in a while, we still bust it out, right? And I just throw my voice over like a voice box, and it sounds really cool. We started doing something else in the show, and I'm gonna show you what it is, man. And let's see, bro. Were you born and raised here in town?
I was born and raised in Beeville, Texas.
Okay, all right. And how long have you been in San Antonio?
I've lived in San Antonio since 12 years.
Okay, but still, Beeville is close enough for you to remember this. Okay, so. In 1986, my parents took me. Back then, we used to have La Semana Tejana, La Semana Alegre. They used to bring big bands out, like in the late 80s, early 90s, CNC Music Factory, MC Hammer, Vanilla, Boys. They used to bring these huge groups out. And I remember I begged my parents to take me to La Semana Alegre in 1987. And they took me to go see these groups. And I remember there were three bands. It was TKA. Right? They're the ones that did Louder Than Love. That's what we were. I don't know if you remember that. That was like that freestyle shit, you know what I mean? And then after that was MC Luscious, and she's the one that sang, Boom, I got your boyfriend. I got your man. Totally inappropriate, bro. My parents were like, my mom was covering my eyes. My dad was covering my ears because it was a crazy ass show. And I was like, what, 9, 10 years old?
Yeah.
To go. So, and I remember though, the last guy that played the closer, man, and people get a kick out of this stuff because they don't expect a country band to be able to come out and jam this kind of stuff. But speaking of freestyle, it's like, I want to be the one you're kissing and hugging.
Stevie B.
I want to be the one that shows you you're loving. I want to be the one you dream of at night. Let me be the one. I love you, baby. And then 1989 came, and it was like, oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody who loves me. So we do that in the show. So if you go see Jase Martin, you're going to see that stuff. And then from there, I'm just kind of giving little shit away.
Yeah, dale, keep going. People are loving that right there.
We start busting out. I kid you not. We took Lincoln. So one thing that we're known for now, and I get messages and we get booked for, is our mashups. We shot ourselves in the foot. We have our own material, our own albums, our own songs. We started doing a lot of cover stuff. And it was like, man, you need to do original music. But we started getting booked a lot because of the cover stuff. But we do this. We mash up different genres together. So we'll take I like taking 80s and 90s songs, mashing them up with country songs. And people go nuts. So we'll go from just let her cry. Let the tears fall down like rain. El Hootie, let her sing. If it eases all her pain, let her go. Right? So we'll do that, man. We're singing and it's like, so why are you always angry? And why are you always quiet? And why do you sleep alone? So we'll go from a Hootie to Parker McCullum. We do another Parker McCullum song, bro. I kid you not. We go from what is it? You're pretty hard. You're pretty hard. And because the groove is the same and the key's the same, we go into Stone Temple Pilots. And I feel that one that goes, and I feel it. So we bust out with some freaky 90s song, and then we'll come into a country song, and then it meshes together, and people are and they're dancing, and then they recognize the second song, they're like, what the fuck is that? Wave on Wave.
Dude, that's super fucking bad.
Wave on Wave.
I don't mean to be cussing, but I'm just pumped up, dude.
I'm going to give you guys a music lesson in a minute, but Wave on Wave, right? Wave on Wave is and they can't pull me, wave on wave. You're the reason I'm still here, yeah. Am I the one that you were sent to save? And you can't pull me away a long way. Out of touch, out of reach, yeah. You can try to get closer to me. We going to Def Leppard, bro. It's kinda hysterical, my stereo. Can you feel it? Because the grooves are the same and the key is the same. We're able to mesh those things together.
Bro, but your energy, like somebody just, I was thinking the same thing. Somebody texts like, love Jason's energy.
Oh, man.
Bro, so look, if you guys right here, he's just hanging out right here, just chilling, having a great time. You imagine when he's ready to work and you paid your money to go out there, or if it's a festival, you know, you're going to get what you pay for, man. You know what I'm saying? And more, because I am literally blown away by the musician. Is this even a word? A musicianship. I don't know.
I don't know. I've had too much of this.
Well, I'm fucking. If it's not, I'm making it up, right? I'm amazed by the musicianship of this guy being able to take songs that we grew up with and just kick it like that. Like, who does that?
We just wanted to be different, you know, wanted to do some different stuff. And I know I'm giving all this shit away, but trust me, just because you hear it on here, just know that we always change things up, always add new stuff. I've always wanted to do Hey Mickey with like Footloose. You know what I mean? You know, because they had the same groove, you know what I mean? And now I gotta cut loose, Footloose, kick off your Sunday shoes. And then, you know, if you slow it down, if you slow it down, oh, Mickey, you're so fine, and people probably be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, oh, Mickey, what a pity you don't understand. You take me by the heart and you take me by the hand. Oh, Mickey, what a pity, can you understand? It's guys like, and I'll say it like that, it's guys like you, Mickey. I don't care if it's a girl song. Oh, won't you do, Mickey, oh, make my heart, Mickey. Been working so hard. You know, so you can do like a whole lot of different kinds of shit by just meshing these different songs together. And that's where I say we shot ourselves in the foot, because when we're supposed to be doing original music, everybody's going,
people want to hear that shit.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, we've been doing this for years. I'm going to show you something. We've been doing this for years, right? And I was like,
hey, dude, hold on, bro. This is a bad from YouTube. Tejano musicians, the most versatile entertainers in the world. Fucking fight me. The guys just fight me. Anything different.
They are.
The Barbacoa bandits in there.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. Tejano musicians can play jazz, country, rock. I've heard people bust out with bachata. They're amazing. They're amazing musicians. And that's why I love Tejano music, Tejano musicians, because they can do stuff and sound so authentic. You know, like
your old boss told me that.
Really?
Shelly Latta said, Tejano musicians are like no other in any other genre, because Tejano musicians can play Tejano music and they can play any other music you have them play. But you take another genre and you bring them into Tejano music, they can't play it.
Yeah, that's true. At least I agree. I agree.
I'm not saying they probably couldn't listen and maybe get in there.
Of course.
But for the most part, they can't play it the way Tejanos can go and do country and other things.
I've heard Jorge Alejandro and his band go from, you know, some ranchera to some Latin jazz funk stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know,
it truly is, dude. It truly is, man. Like, I'm excited, just like all these people on here on the chat room. I'm excited to see a live Jase Martin show, dude.
You got to check it out. It's
like,
fun.
bro, like honestly. I said, Jason's gonna come in here. We'll talk a little bit about Vida, right? Because I'm a Tejano fiend, right? Yeah. But dude, I did not know it was gonna make a left turn like that right there.
Oh man,
dude, that's super super badass, dude.
Thank you.
You know, and if I'm having a good time, I know the viewers are having a good time. You know, it's like you said, you know, this interview is a little different than a radio interview and stuff like that. Just kick back, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love to do it in a sense where the viewer is just the third person on another chair while we're having a conversation.
Exactly.
You know what
It's
I'm
like
saying?
having everybody here, and that's the cool thing is like when we're talking to you guys, we're talking to you guys. We're able to see the comments and read everything back. And although it's hard to see everything, so if we miss you, we're sorry. But at the same time, know that we are appreciative one more time. That the fact that you've remained on this thread.
Before I forget, musicianship. Hey, shout out to my brother-in-law, Nene. He's watching all the way over there from Tampa, Florida. What's up, Nene? He hashtag musicianship.
That's cool.
Where how do we get a hold of Jase Martin if we own a business or we got a wedding or we got something coming up? How do we get a hold of you?
So we do have a website. It's simply jasemartin.com. You can find there's a phone number on there. You can call it or text it. We do a lot of private events because of all the because of the variety of music and the
Jase Martin.
Yes, jasemartin.com.
.com.
Yeah. So you can now. It's hard to find Jase Martin stuff on YouTube, and it's hard to find Jase Martin music out there because right now we're actually working on our first Jase Martin album. So but trust me, through word of mouth and reputation, like I said before, people are booking because they've seen or they've heard the things that we do. And jasemartin.com is a great way to interact with like us. And and even like on our Facebook. So if you go to jasemartin.com on Facebook, just look up Jase Martin. That's all you got to do. You'll find us on there, and we get on there and we talk to people. We interact with people. We post on there where we're going to be, what we're going to do, so that way whether we're going to be close to your town.
Yeah.
You guys come out and you guys check it out. So like all the social media stuff, just look for Jase Martin Music. Either one of those is going to take you to.
What do you have this weekend?
I have tomorrow. I'm in Katy, Texas, doing some Standing Pepper stuff. So, tomorrow is like the 80s and 90s night, you know what I mean? Who can it be knocking at my door? Go away, don't come right here no more, Show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, she said. We do all that stuff, bro.
You do Mexican American?
Oh, yeah, Mexican American. Oh, hold on. Mexican American. Like to get education, so they go to night school, take Spanish and get a B. As an American, don't even get it. And people are funny because we play, shows, and everybody likes to yell out "Free Bird" because they think they're funny, right? Because nobody ever really praised me. Free Bird, and I'm like, if I leave here tomorrow, and then we bust out this whole solo at the end. We do the whole damn thing. Because one day everyone's always yelling Freebird to be funny. Yeah, Freebird. And we're like, you know what, dude, fuck it. We just learned it. The whole thing, solo and all. And we play that sucker, 3 guys. We just jam it, bro. We just jam it.
And the people just sitting
And they
there.
go, they're like, oh, okay, all right.
Bro,
They just jam.
I can tell you this. Bar owners, club owners, cantina owners have to love having you guys because your energy, I would be about 8 beers down. You know what I'm saying? Chugging some beers, dude. But Jase, I want to thank you, brother, for coming and just hanging out with us, even us for a little bit. We didn't get into the ghost story. I know you were a ghost chaser, at KD.
Yeah. Oh man, I've got some and Joey Jimenez.
Shout out to Joey Jams in
Big
the
shout
house.
out to Joey. Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. He's an amazing player, amazing musician. He used to come and hang with us, man, when I used to work at KDA. We didn't get a chance to get into that stuff, but you know what? One of these days, if you ever have another opening, bro, I can come back, and I guarantee you we'll have a totally new set of stuff to talk about because there's so much.
How many of you guys would like to see Jase Martin, the 3-piece band, set up in here? We'll fucking move shit around. Dude, you know who La 45 is?
Yes.
If I've had La 45 in full, every instrument on the show, I'm sure we can work.
We'll do it.
Jase Martin, come over here
We'll do it.
and give the people just a little bit of taste and get to talk to the other guys, and get their take on things. But dude, you caught a lot of love tonight on social media. If this was your first time watching Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, on behalf of this gentleman here, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with us, man. It's really cool. I do this every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. live on Facebook and live on YouTube. Hopefully here real soon we'll be going live on TikTok all simultaneously. So whatever your cup of tea is, you'll be able to watch and enjoy the live show. Jase, it's been super, super awesome. I love the comments from the crowd. You know, they're really into you. Like, it's cool. Again, like I told you before we started the show, if one person that was a fan of the show didn't know Jase Martin, I could promise you as soon as we're done, they're already Googling or YouTubing, you know what I'm saying, to get a piece of it.
Thank you for having me out. I appreciate it. The other two guys, Steve and Stevie, they weren't able to make it tonight, but I guarantee you, man, you let us know when we can come in. We'll throw a little cajon, a little bass, and a little acoustic, and we'll just jam in here. You know, we'll throw something for the people. It's just fun. You know what I mean? It's great. And yeah, like I said, please look us up, you know, on social media, especially Facebook. You know, I'm an old guy, so I still do Facebook. Just for Jase Martin, Jase. Sometimes the people put C, but it's Jase Martin. You'll find our picture on there. You'll find my picture on there. Like it. I'd appreciate the likes on the page. You can friend us. You know, we accept almost everybody. You know.
He said we accept almost every. But here's the problem, Jase. Once you, I run into this issue. Once you reach, I want to say on my personal page, once you reach 5,000 people, they can only follow you, and you know, gracias a Dios that the show's grown, that I'm there now, and I do this, dude, because you said a little bit earlier. You said it in passing. I don't think you really, right? The older people that can't come out anymore,
right?
Or the wives who, you know, their husbands work and they don't go out anymore, right? This is their outlet, right? This is their outlet, watching a show like this, and then, you know, like, oh, this is cool, man. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
I knew him at Vida. I didn't know that he has this country band, and now here you are singing Stevie B on a.
Oh, see Stevie B on a Wednesday, bro. I'll bust out with like Randy Rogers into Linkin Park. You know, it's just, you have no idea the ridiculous but cool shit that we do on stage. It's just fun. There's probably the most entertaining thing, or the thing that the people like the most, is when we do that rock cumbia. We've been wanting to take it out of the show for a long time. People don't let us. You have to see it for yourself. I can't even play it here, you know, because it's
rock cumbia.
It's called it's the Jase Martin rock cumbia. We started it years ago, and we just brought it with us over with Jase Martin, and it's just, people won't. If we don't do it at a show, people are like, why didn't you do it? We have to like do the encore. It has to be that. But I do want to say thank you for having me out here. I really, really appreciate it. You know, like I said, you know, congratulations on everything that you've accomplished here. As soon as I walked in, I said, bro, you got a really cool setup. You know, I knew that this was going to be a fun interview. You know, this is one of those things where, you know, us as artists love to come in and just do this. Just do this. And I mean, and not
somebody going like this, hey, or, you know, on the radio, people don't understand, like when the musicians go to the radio station still got to do commercials.
Right. They
still got to play music. And in between all that, we'll get the, you know, 3 minutes of, hey, what's going on,
exactly.
Jason, you know? And I'm glad that we get to bring this to your fans, to, you know, everybody watching. Again, everybody who's watching on YouTube or Facebook, thank you guys so much. If you take anything from tonight, take the name Jase Martin with you. Google it, write it down. I mean, we got the most smartest things that we all carry around in our hand. Put it in your notes. And when you see the name, man, when you see the name at a festival, and make sure that you go out there and you show him love. And make sure that when you do get up close and he can hear you, let him know that you found him on Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. Right? Let him know that you saw Jason. You know, somebody might have seen you. This is the first time they see you. Go and tell him, hey, bro, I saw you on Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, and I've been a fan ever since. Right? To me, that makes everything that I do worth it, bro.
Absolutely. Definitely.
You know, that people are out there showing you guys love makes this all worth it. So again, bro, what I like to do, I know you've given some shout-outs, but I like to shut my mouth and I give the mic to my guest. And you want to say any shout-outs, any thank yous, anything you want to say, the mic is yours.
I do. So I want to send a big shout-out going out to all those that have supported over the last 25 to 30 years. You know, I have people that come to the shows that were like, man, I was watching you when you were 14 years old, you know, and it's cool to see those people still come around. all those old fans, old friends, everybody that was around back then, all the way through now through Jase Martin, we appreciate it. All the people that we work with, the musicians, the club owners, the promoters, the people that do the fairs and festivals, it's because of you guys that we get the opportunity to continue playing. And it's part of that cycle, you know, that just keeps us going. I want to also say a big hello to, you know, all the writers and the people that are a part of the creative process. We get together as writers and write music and record music. A big shout out going out to my wife. She writes a lot of the material. She wrote a lot of the material for Vida. She writes a lot of the material for Jase Martin. A big shout out going out to the guys in the band. Stevie, the guys that even come and sometimes play with us, like, you know, Chris and my cousin Chris. And my cousin Leroy plays percussion with David Farias. Like, you know, we're all a musical family, and we've all played together at one point or another, whether it was with this band or whether it's with this band. So all these different people that if it weren't for each and every one of you guys, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair talking to you. And of course, to you and everybody else that has taken the time to help us expose ourselves, expose our music. You know, it is an honor and a pleasure to work with each and every one of you guys, because like I said, it takes everybody, it takes a team, it's a machine. And like you
Definitely.
said, if one part doesn't do its job, then the whole thing fails. And so far for Jase Martin, because everyone's been there, it's really, really helped us out a lot. To our fellow musicians that play, don't ever give up the dream. To those that are barely starting, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm almost done. But to those that are barely starting, you know, pursue the dreams. You know, pursue your dreams. Do it. Go for it. There's no reason why you shouldn't, and there's no reason why you can't. You know, we're all reaching for it. And I say this to all the country musicians, all the Tejano musicians, everybody. There's room for everybody in this market. For everybody. If we all love each other, help each other, # artist supporting artist, man, you'd be surprised how the industry, whether it's Tejano, country, rap, rock, I don't care who you are, Bad Bunny, whatever, we can all help each other grow. So if we support each other, we'll grow together. That's the bottom line.
For sure. And, you know, again, dude, I had a blast tonight. Like you literally took the interview to another level, man. And before I get off, you know, you talked about music and helping each other. If you guys don't know, if this is your first time watching the show, every now and then I have another show that I do on Fridays when I'm not out doing stuff, and it's called Frito Pie Friday. Frito pie, yes, because people go to football games on Friday nights, right, and they eat Frito pie. So I'm silly, and I called it Frito Pie Friday. So Frito Pie Friday, Jase, what we do is we go out there and we search for brand new music that's maybe not being played on the radio stations, and we play it live right here, cool, like this. We play it right here, as I showed you.
Music that's not played on the radio stations?
Most music that's not being played on the radio stations, and then some that is just being released, right? The radio stations are going to play it because I get it just like they get it, right? But I like to play artists that are not on a typical radio station. Like they're not on the whatever they call it. They're not in the system. They're not being played. Right. And Frito Pie Friday took off. And the reason it took off is because the artists made it a badass show. The artists, the Jase Martins, cool, these guys watch the show because they're listening to this new music. Here's the catch, though. If you send me your music, you have to be open to constructive criticism.
All right, that's cool.
Right? So a lot of music that I play is not even mastered yet.
Right.
They're brave enough to send something their work and say, Bump, play this. And I play, say, hey, it's a brand new one from Grupo Macizo. And people are like, what the that's badass. And it's not even mastered yet.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Or some people, you know, there's artists that you don't know, I play it, and people are like, oh, okay, cool. Course, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But every now and then I'll have a guest, like, and it's really not an interview with the guest. It's the guest hanging out with me, and we get to talk about the music that we play.
That's cool.
Right? So this week, some guys that are near and dear to my heart. I actually get to manage these guys. They will be here. So if you're not doing nothing Friday night on your way back home from a football game Friday night, or I don't know, whatever you're doing Friday night, tune into the same channel. It'll be on the Bumpers Wacky Wednesday page. I'll have Grupo Asalto here in the studio. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring their instruments. Matter of fact, I'll have them bring their instruments, right? And they're going to jam a little bit, and we're going to play a bunch of new music because there's a bunch of brand new music being released this week that you guys are going to be in for a great treat. So if you're an artist watching country, we're open this to Texas, whatever. You're an artist, you want your music to be played and be heard, and you're open to constructive criticism, the email is right here, bumpergomezproductions@gmail.com. Bumper Gomez Productions with an S @gmail.com. Send me your MP3 or however, just email it to me. We'll play it live and you'll get your feedback. Instead of scratching your head and saying, wow, I wonder what people would think. Right. You'll know right then and there what people think, man. So it's going to be really, really cool. And then don't forget, next Wednesday, right here in the hot seat, we'll have Latin Grammy nominee Miss Desi Navaida and her brother, Rigo Navaida. They'll be here in the studio for their Wacky Wednesday. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Everybody that tuned in on behalf of Jase Martin, thank you so much. Please like and follow and share the channel. That's the way we grow. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the show. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. I'll see you Friday. Make sure you tune in Friday and next Wednesday. Jase, gracias, bro.
Thank you.
I wish you nothing but the best, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you live.
Oh, brother, you need to check it out. And I tell you one thing, man. One more time, I got to say, you got an awesome thing going here, bro. Congratulations on all of this. This is amazing. Thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. That means so much to me. Everybody, y'all have a great night. Hope y'all have tomorrow's Viernes Chiquito. Get ready. It's Thursday. Have a good weekend. See y'all.